Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous wilds of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Jason Phelps, and I am joined as ever by Robbie, Ecstasy of the Geese, Bellekom, Sam, Geese on Ecstasy, Burns, and Ellie, Ecstasy Geese, Sparrow. Today's three have been submitted by Valeria Messalina, at Vipera Messalina on Twitter, one of our stowaways, who apparently says that this came from the best hand of Cards Against Humanity they've ever played.
Excellent. Ecstasy Geese.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honk! I tried to honk with ecstasy. I'm not sure if it worked.
Honk.
I think Jason nailed it.
Was that how? I can't remember what I did for the cave horror voice. Something like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was Zanny having a bad day.
Zanny.
Why, his limbs bleeding. It was that one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I now use that voice in Agent Venture to be the head of security.
The head of security is just Pantalone.
I'm very versatile as an actor.
I miss that voice. That is a good voice.
Oh, it's fucking stupid.
If it hasn't come up,
Not sure a soul alive talks like this, if I'm honest.
I don't know. I swear I've heard actual people talk like that.
Actually, I think there was a lady in the charity shop where I used to live who talked like that. I think that's where I've got it from.
I've got like Debden.
Yeah, in Debbie's.
Yeah, I believe that in Debden.
Yeah. I swear there was a lady in the charity shop who talked like that. She was awesome, actually. She was really nice.
If you haven't somehow already heard on the messages from the present that we've released in the past about Agent Venture, then I'm sure this will accompany what messages there are to be brought, future us, from the, wow, I'm fucking up the order of this, present. And that will be it for announcements this time. Back from you, past Jason. This episode of Flintlocks and Fireballs is brought to you by you. As ever, a massive thanks to our crew members on the Flintlocks Patreon who help keep this ship sailing. There's a wealth of extra content and bonus features for patrons, including regular blog posts, extra stories narrated by the cast, artwork, and a monthly poll for the community to help design an element to go into the game. This week, the patrons appear to be voting on a monster, perhaps a civilized monster. You can check it out at patreon.com/Flintlocks and Fireballs. Link in the description. It's Future Jason, with messages from the present. Once again, we are involved with the online group heist game, Agent Venture, where you and your socially distant friends can infiltrate a corrupt corporation's HQ with nothing more than a laptop and an internet connection, and indeed can attempt to infiltrate Episode 2, Cyborg Island. And in celebration of that, for the month of July, tickets for the first game, The Heist, are reduced to £10 or less. Check out the link in the description. And now, messages from the past. Over to you, the Jason that once was.
I hope messages from the present went better than what just happened before them.
I mean,
I thought it was just
we
a
say
thing.
this
Run
as
with
if
it
there is
now.
a set
Do it in the wrong
format.
order.
Yeah. We say this as if there was ever intended to be a set format.
But there kind of is in a weird
There
way.
is, after like
There's
105
enough of a
episodes.
set format that the couple of times that we've had guests on, they've been kind of confused when we've done the intro because they're like, this is nonsense, but it feels like it's like very specific nonsense, and I'm confused.
It is specific nonsense.
I feel like this came about in episode 1 when we realised we'd probably have up-to-date messages, but no idea what they would be.
Yeah.
And just like, maybe there'll be something.
Yeah. I think in episode 1 we're like, here's some messages, or an awkward silence. We don't know.
I need to go back and listen.
I don't think we'd even plan the interludes. Like, there might be something. Or nothing.
Oh, our sound quality was less good then as well.
It really
Last time I
was.
listened to episode 1, I was like, wow, we're literally like banging microphones and stuff. We're hilarious.
Oh, past us. We're so sorry.
Yeah.
Speaking of the past and episode 1 and all of that jazz, from our point in the timeline, episode 100 released
Yeah, yesterday.
yesterday.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
know
you so
how
much.
to talk about this
That's
like a person.
the main thing.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, community.
Yeah, we were having a really shit day, and Twitter was horrible, and the world was horrible. And then all of a sudden, at 7 o'clock when we released the episode, our Twitter just exploded with people tweeting "Thank you, Flintlocks" at us on a hashtag. If you want to read the messages, have a look. They're lovely, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, they will brighten your day, like they did
They
ours.
brightened ours.
Yeah.
It was
And
an awful
also,
day up to that point.
a load of lovely stowaways made us a song, like they did for our 50th, where they sang like a lot of the outro verses. Not all 100, but like pretty
Up
fucking
to
close.
either 73 or 75. I forget
Something
which.
like that.
No, I was counting the episodes in my head. I remember which episodes passed.
Yeah.
So I'm reasonably sure we got to maybe 75.
It was amazing and beautiful, and we love you all.
Yeah, I'm welling up just thinking about that, actually.
And well done pulling off the Jimothy outro in that as well.
Yes.
That was-
we
Like,
were
there were a
impressed.
lot of highlights, but
I'm
glad you took
I
that off.
giggled all the way through that.
Special
That made
mention-
me so happy.
It was great. Special mentions to the Jimothy outro. Rich as Olga,
Yes.
which was amazing, at Cornish Philosopher on Twitter, yes. And Sarah as Clara.
Yeah.
But all of you, seriously, it was all absolutely wonderful. We loved it. It's mad seeing
Yeah.
people all over the world singing your theme tune for you.
Brought us to tears.
Yep.
Yeah,
Many,
literally.
many of them.
Yeah. And on that cheerful note...
Speaking of tears,
What? No!
Oh,
why?
shit. Yes, actually. Thinking
no,
about where
like,
we left off last
seriously,
time.
Probably speaking of tears.
It's time to begin Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. The party have arrived in Eastern Sunder. After a number of shenanigans, they made their way to the city of Newmark, where, after briefly getting involved with gang politics in order to have their friend Michael John Boot taken off the assassins' lists for the colonies of Sunder, they, in the midst of a heist, accidentally released a powerful ancient entity who apparently won't really be much of a problem. Sort of, maybe. There is some debate on that matter. However, in the process, they also recovered a variety of valuable cultural artifacts that belonged to members of the Panuki Achin. They proceeded to jailbreak a new companion, Odenone, a hunter and trapper who is serving as their guide and who maybe was sent, maybe came of his own volition, to try and retrieve the stolen artifacts that were, if you want to use the very colonialist verbiage, liberated to be put in a museum.
They were just
for the
robbed.
glory
They
of
were full
Queen
on
and
robbed.
country. Yeah,
Yeah, just stolen.
Yeah.
So other people could look at them.
back by one Monsieur Bellekom, a Sulian archaeologist working for the Osirian government. The party have been venturing towards the capital of the Panukiachin of Tiope. But along the way, they made a stop-off at Inyan, the largest of the 3 settlements of the Panuki, and the name of the nation of which translates to the Stone Guardians. The reason for that became apparent as reaching their lands, they realised that the Panukiachin have built their cities amidst the abandoned shells of, as far as they can tell, giant settlements. Settlements constructed by giants known to the Achin as the Cloudwalkers. This, they have found, ties in an unexpected way into perhaps Scamp's own quest to find answers.
Nah, I'm sure it's all fine.
Along the way, they were asked, primarily because they had proven themselves capable warriors and, importantly, were not Achin, to attempt to fix a seal broken by Monsieur Bellekom in the course of his banditry, and which had sort of unleashed a nightmarish forgotten terror upon the world. A self-replicating nightmarish forgotten terror upon the world.
Oh dear.
Again!
Yes, so for the second time, the party have saved a continent from the undead as they ventured into the lair of the Hachna, finding what appeared to be some forgotten outpost, settlement, pleasure palace of the former giant civilization that existed on Sunder. The party survived, acquired a small fortune in mithril gardenware, and were, frankly, yet again horrendously traumatized by nearly dying,
Yay.
Woo!
as they found themselves astoundingly outclassed. You emerged, having sealed the gate behind you. The Hachnar are once again trapped within their lightless valley for who knows how long. Perhaps eternity.
Ever,
Yeah,
forever.
perhaps until they are broken again.
I hate you.
However, it is worth noting, by the way, as well as your wealth of mithril gardening tools, like 800 gold of mithril gardening tools, Geoffrey did bring back the daylight wand that you found. The crystal that went on the end of it is shattered.
It's out of juice, isn't it?
It is out of juice. If you ever found some way to restore the energy within it, and a replacement crystal, however, you do still have the wand itself.
Okay. That'll go in my inventory.
Yeah, so just make a note that you have the crystal-less, depowered daylight wand. So,
I have to figure out what sort of crystal it needs.
yeah.
I've not
You do have
actually
the shards
added
of
in
it as
anything into my inventory in ages. The last thing there was a magic hat.
Oh, I'd forgotten about your magic hat.
You still have
That's
that.
the magic. Yes.
Someone just gave you that because you asked if they had one in a magic shop, didn't they?
Yeah, it just
the
looks
enchanters,
magical,
wasn't
I
it?
think.
Oh.
I think it just looks magical. It's not
What
even
a
magic.
Yeah,
nice
it's not, it
enchanter.
has no magical properties.
Yeah. So yeah, you.
Fuck, I forgot that my codpiece still has lightning. This would have been a really good fight for that. Ugh.
Yep. Don't forget, you have
Oh,
a
well.
one-use lightning bolt stored in your crotch.
Yeah.
Crotch lightning.
Yeah.
So, I feel like we're walking in some giants' footsteps there with crotch lightning. Now, you were brought back at the end of last episode by Odinone to his uncle's villa, essentially in the centre of Inyan. So you have had the opportunity to spend a full day recovering
Yay!
And we'll be ready to head out the following morning, on the morning of the 21st of full ripeness. In addition to receiving, I think it was 3,000 gold pieces worth of sapphires?
I don't know.
Let me just check.
It was 3,500 actually.
3,500, cool. I couldn't remember if it was 3,500, 3,800 or 3,000 because my handwriting is terrible.
Oh,
I put it directly on the Kraken's Bane sheet.
Thank you. So yeah, you got
Right.
3,500 gold pieces worth of sapphires. They're not all cut. A couple of them are, but they are well polished.
Do any of them fit in the wand?
No, the wand. Examining the shards of the wand, the crystal at the end appears to be something reminiscent of maybe like rock crystal. Give me a nature check.
Okay. That is a 23.
Okay, yeah. With a 23, you can identify that this is actually, this is pure rock crystal. But you can tell that it is, first of all, it's pure rock crystal. There are no inclusions. There are no flaws in it. This has been expertly mined. And maybe that was important. Secondly, knowing the properties of rock crystal, you suspect that this crystal served as a base for some sort of enchantment.
Yeah, it's
So-
not the magic itself.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
It's just the material within which it was contained.
No, although with time and effort, it might be possible with the broken shards you have to create another one, provided you had access to a capable enchanter or someone who can do the equivalent, and who had, and if you had a pure enough crystal of rock crystal.
Yeah, let's hang on to these. They might be useful if ever we come in contact with a specialist.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
going to get
hell
the
we
wand
were.
up. Jeffrey, give me the wand back. Jeffrey, you've had your fun.
Jeffrey, who's been sort of vaguely using it like so. You watch Jeffrey and Marjorie batting around the room. Jeffrey using Brannigan's blade and the light wand, like Corzin with the with his dual sabers, just like.
Oh, he wants to be like Corzin.
His technique's improved, I have to say.
Oh, Jeffrey.
I can see the similarity.
Now, if you give me the wand, we'll get you another sword, okay?
Jeffrey immediately hands over the wand.
I'll see if there's a
time of
letter
day is it?
opener around here or something.
It
I'm
can
put
be
that on my to-do list. Get Jeffrey
any
second
time
sword.
from mid-afternoon to the following morning.
Oh,
when
yeah,
you
I'm
want this to
drunk.
happen. Okay, this is so this is early evening. We'll say that this particular scene is happening.
Oh, any time for an early afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been drunk since.
Oh yeah, yeah. You are helping yourself to Tulamatate, I believe it is. Telecinero's drinks cabinet, and drinks cabinet is Telecinero is welcoming you to it.
Yeah, I've got whiskey as well.
Yeah.
but-
So, yeah. Is there anything in particular the three of you want to do before the following morning beyond just resting and getting drunk?
I think that's the main thing at this point.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
drink a slightly scary amount and I'm really quiet and weird.
Okay.
I think that's mostly what I do.
I mean, I want to check in on Celestia if
Yeah,
she's being quiet and weird.
Corzin will keep an eye on Celestia and check in occasionally.
I'll say then that
I mean, do you
Yeah.
check in specifically? Is that a specific conversation or like
I think it probably is.
how are you doing it? Okay.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm fantastic.
That's a lie.
Yes,
how are
it
you
is.
actually doing? And if the answer is fuck off, that is valid and allowed.
I don't want you to fuck off. That'd be horrible.
Yeah, but sometimes we don't want to talk about how we're doing.
Yeah, sometimes these things happen all at once and when we're least expecting it, so no pressure.
Yeah, I'm sorry because I know we've all just nearly died in that, but
Yeah, but we nearly died in a place that was causing you obvious distress.
Oh, my sorts exactly, Scamp. Yes.
And nearly
And
died
quite
in the
frankly,
cabin.
I actually did pretty well in there, so...
You
just
did
saying.
really well. You were, like, fine.
It was dumb luck. I got magicked in the head. So how are you? And do you want to talk about it?
I'm pretty dreadful, and I don't know. Oh.
Why don't you start trying, and if it's awful, we stop.
That's a
You're
good
very
idea.
sweet. So I don't know. It feels stupid. When we've just nearly died and stuff, to be talking about my ex-girlfriend, but
Nearly dying puts stuff in weird perspective.
Yeah.
yeah, we were gonna die underground in a place where we couldn't see the sky, and all I was thinking about was her. And I slept with someone like a couple of days ago, and I thought I was pretty okay, but apparently I'm not. So that's fun. And my brain's just sort of flashing between various heartbreaking Lear scenes and various horrifying Underdark scenes, just round in circles.
Ah.
So I'm drinking I really fancy a pipe. And I say fancy, I could claw at the walls for a pipe right now. And everything's horrifying, and I'm not making any sense. And
Well,
I'm
no,
really
good thing that
pissed.
you're not.
You are making sense.
Yeah, this all makes perfect sense.
It's just not nice, but that doesn't mean it doesn't make sense.
No.
Oh.
How do you get over someone who made you the person you are? My name is what she used to call me.
I know.
Yeah.
We worked that one out.
Yeah, I know. That
well-
wasn't like a secret.
I know. I don't think you've ever said it, but
No, I don't suppose I have.
you didn't need to, though. I honestly don't know. I wish I could.
I don't really know what I am without her. Like, she made me this way. And now she's with somebody else, as she should be, because that's where she's happy. And that's what's right. But nothing makes any sense anymore.
I don't know if this is at all helpful, but she may well have been a big influence on the way you are, but you were the person who decided to change, to stay this way.
You also changed a huge amount in the time that you weren't with her.
Yeah.
You are who you make yourself, who you decide to be.
And that's
And
the thing that you...
it is harder to do without someone to help.
Yeah.
You two helped.
There we
Well, I'm
go.
very
We're not
glad about
going
that.
anywhere.
Oh, quite.
Good. I was worried in there for a bit.
No, I mean, honestly, there was no way we were ever going to leave willingly.
It's not willingly that's the worry, though, is it? But I get that. I understand fear of losing people.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a breakup quite as complex as that before, but I know it's difficult, very, very difficult to sort of see yourself as a separate entity from a relationship sometimes.
Well, I just wasn't anything before her. I was a bastard before I met Leah.
You were still a bit of a bastard when we met us.
Thanks.
And look how good you're doing.
They do have a point, but more importantly, I think that it is proof of what I was saying, that how you are is far more of a choice that you yourself have made than anyone who's influenced you. Yes, obviously, people have helped. People have been great helps. There's, plenty of people I wouldn't be the person I am without. But
yeah, and a lot of those people are
dickheads
that you've learnt not to be like, rather than have done positive things. We're all a product of the people we meet.
Yeah, good and bad.
But we are still separate from them. You're still you without her.
Yeah, and don't ever think that you aren't.
I also just fucking miss her.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's awful to miss how things were when we were in, like, this terrible situation, really. But I do.
Of course, and I
don't miss everything else.
I would never blame you for missing that.
But I miss being with her.
It's a nice thing.
All we wanted was to leave.
Yeah?
We did. Well, I did. She got taken. And I don't know. This feels like we never had a chance, really. It's kind of hard to swallow.
Yes, I quite understand. It's perfectly understandable the way you're feeling, and you shouldn't feel bad.
I do. I also feel kind of bad that she was with me in the first place, because she shouldn't have been there. So there's that. So a whole sack of mad shit.
Yeah, but you've got nothing. No, you had no control over that, and you changed that, and don't let that drag you down. Let it change how you behave in the future, but don't let it pull you down when you could do good.
How old are you again? 14?
I think I'm probably about 80.
Very wise. I believe you were 80 if you lied.
Well, that would be a turn up for the books, wouldn't it?
I always wonder, there's always a chance that I might have turned out to be really old. Slightly disappointed I'm not.
It's a shame you're not 3,000, isn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Thank you for listening to my dreadfully uninteresting sadness.
That's actually quite interesting. That sounds bad.
I'll be sad more often.
That would be lovely. It breaks up the monotony of travel. No, I don't. I'm sorry you're sad, and I want to help. I'm always happy to listen.
We all do.
Thanks. Actually, the first people, I mean, apart from her, who have, so thank you.
Yeah, well...
This is also really difficult, because being sad just wasn't allowed for most of the time.
Of course. And that's...
But
I won't necessarily say that's...
safe, so I guess here we are.
Yeah, and if that's what we can offer, then damn it, we're going to.
Can I have a hug?
Of course.
Yes.
And Corzin does, for as long as Celestia
Jeffrey,
needs.
come and join the hug.
She like smells of booze, like it's like a boozy hug.
Jeffrey
It's
just
one of them.
leaps onto your shoulder and clings.
Ow, you've got such weird tiny fingers. Why is your face so close to mine? The monkey's eyeballing me.
He's saying how much he loves you.
I love you too, you weird little piece of shit. Don't poo in my bag again. You're all very good at hugs.
I'm a fast learner.
You are.
Yes.
You've
in
had
a great
about the
many
same
things.
amount of hugs as I have before this.
The two of you are definitely in a lifelong, so far a lifelong deficit then.
Yes.
For which,
I'm
yes.
doing my best to make up for it.
Very good.
Me too. Well, now I am, because look at me asking for hugs when I want them. Yeah.
Yeah, look at you doing good.
Progress. She takes a big,
Yes.
swig of, big ironic sip of whiskey.
If my arms weren't currently full right now, I'd join you in that.
Just sit and get pissed for a while, yeah?
Of course.
Yeah.
I love you both, thank you.
We love you too.
Always. Okay? Don't forget it.
Yeah, really don't.
Thanks.
You look round.
Oh, love you too, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey has started shitting in your bag.
Fuck you.
He says, as if pointing to it as if it's somehow a gesture of love.
Are you saying
is.
I love you every time you poo in my bag?
I think he is.
That didn't look like a committal facial expression he just did. I think he's taking the piss or the shit. Can you take the shit? People say taking the piss all the time. Can you take the shit? I'm drunk.
It's
And
probably
you
more
say-
Where would you
valuable.
even take it? I don't know.
For the rest
To
of
the
the
Thanos.
night.
Oh, no, people say they take a shit. Yeah, when they're... Yeah.
Pooing.
This is not the
Yes.
first conversation of this nature we've had, is it?
No, it's not. We've talked loads about pooing lately. It's one of our specialist subjects.
And
Lights down.
drink. Yep, drinking, laughing, shitting continues through the night until the morning comes.
That's the first time Jeffrey's made eye contact with shit in a bag.
Okay, it is a warm day. Actually, very warm. It's not as warm as it would be if you were several degrees latitude further north. You are technically in a very, very Mediterranean winter right now, but the sun is warm upon your skin as you set out the following morning with Odinone.
I'd like to try and buy a sword before we leave.
For Jeffrey.
Yeah, of course.
And make a short stop into the market. Okay, there is a bustling market filled with all manner of different peoples, primarily Achin, but there are, as I said before, a handful of other races as well. Mostly various colonial types, some goblins and hobgoblins, some humans, some halflings and orc. Absolutely zero Yonti. However, I would like you to make an investigation check for me, please.
Can I assist
Give
with
him
this?
inspiration.
You can assist and you can have
yeah,
inspiration.
I've got my dark glasses on. I'm like,
Oh, it's a
find
natural
sword.
20.
Go on.
Natural 20.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is, I think, something like a 21.
You ask around between the different Achin, looking for a swordsmith. And, okay, let me just take a moment here. The first thing you discover is that the Achin are not, by and large, a sword-type people. They, as melee weapons go, they tend to prefer daggers or spears. It's simply not a type of weapon which is as common here. Like, they exist, but if you've got a length of metal the length of a sword, they're more likely to stick it on a pole, kind of like a yari or other pole. In fact, the glaives that you saw, for want of a better word, that you saw the guards using on the outside, those are the most common use for things of sword length. Of course, you're not getting Geoffrey a sword. Because Geoffrey can't actually wield a sword.
Dagger would work.
Yeah, you're getting a short sword, basically. However, seeing your motley crew, you do have a discussion. You go between a few blacksmiths, and there are some. They primarily deal with trade goods. They are making pots. They are making pans. They're the armourers. There is a street of armourers. Many of them are less inclined to sell to a monkey once you make what you have in mind clear, but they do point you to one person who might. Okay. You make your way through a series of wide streets, because all the streets here are wide, off to the very edge of the market, where one of these wide streets that actually dead ends because of the position of a house and the wall, has essentially been converted into almost like a sort of covered bazaar portion. And there is one tent towards the end, which is covered in brightly dyed cotton cloth. In fact, several of the vendors are in this street, and kind of keeping an eye out, you realise that you might not necessarily be in the most salubrious part of the market. There are a lot of people selling bottles of very strong alcohol. There is.
Can I buy some?
Yes, you can. Just give me a persuasion check.
It's probably untaxed.
Yeah.
26?
Okay. The Achene,
I want some like really weird shit.
a yellow-skinned Achene, hooded, with some heavy clothing, moving quickly with a very familiar-seeming wheelbarrow.
Yes.
Looks up, and kind of his red eyes dart side to side. Yes, I can get to that. Is it just drink you're after, or you have to things a little stronger? What can I fix you up with?
What have you got that isn't opium?
We
Out of
have.
interest.
We've
Not
got
necessarily
red
interested.
leaf powder.
No.
We have. What are you looking for? Are you looking for nice dreams? Are you looking for big rush of energy? His Jovan, by the way, is actually quite fluent. You get the feeling he probably deals with a lot of foreigners.
Something a bit calm that isn't addictive?
Not the really calm stuff, but let me see. He fumbles through, and for a gold piece, you acquire another.
Why am I like this?
You acquire a
You're the
bottle of
worst.
something like a Naho, the blue minty drink, akin to tequila, but which pulling the stopper off and smelling it, it's a ceramic bottle,
Tastes a bit.
painted blue. It is, yeah. So it's it's about 3 times the pungency.
Hello.
Does it make your tongue blue?
Yes.
Excellent.
Excellent.
But he also trying to think of what you'd be after.
So what am I calling that?
Just call this extra strength Anaho for the moment.
Cool. Yeah, I've only had the teeniest sip. I've not
Yeah.
tried it properly.
Oh yeah, it's alcohol. It's just
Like rocket fuel, but Celestia wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Because rockets aren't a thing.
it's
Absinthe type alcohol?
it reminds you a little of the dwarven stuff.
Nice.
Ah.
But like minty and tequila.
But minty and tequila, yeah. It's
Ooh.
like if you took
some.
dwarven
That
alcohol
sounds
and
weird.
blended it with toothpaste. The other thing that he gives you is it's kind of like a cake. Basically, it's like a very like a maize like a thick, a very small, densely rolled maize tortilla filled with what appears to be dark chocolate. It is just smelling it. You can tell this is sugary. It's going to be sugary.
Nice.
He says, "Take small bites."
Will do. I assume this will last.
He nods.
All right.
Measures out along the log with his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 doses.
Okay.
He says that for 1 dose, he says, "This much for calm night's sleep."
Oh, that sounds nice. Excellent. What do you call this?
The 1 moment. This would be Analoda.
Analoda. Excellent. Any weird side effects I need to worry about?
He thinks for a moment, nods. Do not take more than 2 slices
Okay.
in one sitting.
All right.
He shakes his head. You will sleep longer than you want. Hard to wake up.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
In this amount, you will be fine. Do not, if you do not wish to always be using it, do not take for more than 3 months in a row.
This is the sort of warning that should come with drugs.
This much, you'll be fine.
Thank you.
But my regulars old, lots of pain problems.
And there's no like old and pain problems. There's no like secret opium in here, is there?
No, it is. He thinks for a moment.
As much as I'd love some, it's a bit of a problem. I really shouldn't.
No, it is from this leaf from. In terms he said, Haldanos. It is like big, broad green leaf.
Ah,
Trying to. 1 minute. I will actually get you the name for this, but I need to remind myself what the name is. So this one's one I actually have to look up.
say it weed. Basically, it's
That
that.
was sort of the
It
vibe I
basic-
was getting.
It
Yeah.
basically is. Yeah, I'm trying to find
This
you.
is an edible. That's basically what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
basically like
Yeah.
it is basically weed. I'm trying to remember what the
It wasn't like cannabia, or was it?
yeah, I think that's the
I don't know the long name.
I think you are looking. Yeah, so this would be. The word was. Yeah, here we go. It is. Ganjika.
Ah, have I heard of that?
Roll a nature check.
So good at nature. Oh, that's a really good roll. Maybe I know drugs. Who knows? That is a 24.
Yep. They grow it in Sanistal and in western Haldanos. It is a calm, relaxing, mildly addictive over long periods of use drug. Like long periods of use.
I suppose you can get used to sleeping with it.
You can get used to sleeping.
And they
Like
can
it's on the,
try and not, but
it's
not
of
like
a-
addictive.
It's
That's
of
not a word
approximate
that you-
levels of addiction to alcohol. Like it's a habitual addiction.
Alcohol's
you can pick
way
up.
more addictive.
Actually, yeah. But it's not like no. This is it's if you're likely to if it becomes habit forming, that's more due to the tendency of humans to develop habits,
Yeah,
which is more
habits can be a problem.
But yes, this is basically cannabis
Excellent.
in a chocolate and sweetened tortilla.
Cannabis would probably do some good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will allow her to have some chill.
Yeah, she has 0 chill, so it's probably good.
So,
Current events have robbed her chill.
Chill has left the building.
so yes, add 8 doses of anaoloda. Okay. Sorry.
Carry
Apart
on
from
buying Jeffrey's sword, by all means.
yeah, sorry, I forgot. This is what we were
20
actually
swords,
here
that's what was
for.
happening. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting it to go on that long when I said, can I buy some alcohol? I
Sorry, you rolled a
apologise.
26 and it was like, okay, you can get drugs while you're here.
Yay, drugs.
Yeah, no, that was absolutely fair. Don't worry about it.
So you also make your way to the end of that street, where in one of these somewhat shady looking establishments, you find inside the many different there's a tent with many layers of brightly coloured cotton, and through a beaded curtain
Yes.
there is a dark room. There is a censer or burning in the center, or a small low-down brazier in which there are various sweetish herbs burning, filling the air with a soothing scent. And there is a figure in the corner, quite. It's a little bit hard to tell. They're wrapped up very heavily, and they have a hood over them. They seem to be, and they seem to be working with some sort of mortar and pestle as you arrive, and quickly fold it into a sleeve. You can't really see a lot of them. They look to be maybe Corzin size. All you can see is just a little bit of reddish nose. They tilt a little. Yes. And actually, I think this would be. Yep, they will. Where are they from? They're from here. Cool. They say, "To what not did not know." Odonone's
hello.
with you, who's who, I remembered. So he would go, "Odnata no Jova." Welcome.
Hello.
Sorry, we don't speak chain. Apologies.
The figure flicks an arm. You can't see a hand. You just see like the heavy arms of the robe like flick to a side in mild dismissal. I have many customers. What is it you seek?
I'd like a small sword, please. The prettiest one you've got.
Yes, a knife even would be.
Like a really, really small sword. Like for a monkey.
You wish
Is
a sword
Jeffrey currently visible?
for a monk?
Yep.
Okay. Because Corzin was about to sort of gesture to his size and then just move a hand down a little bit to like roughly little Corzin's size.
Well, the little Corzin is the size of Jeffrey. It's so good. It never gets any less good.
Well, yeah, I mean, he would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, I see. That could be done. But are you looking for the prettiest, the sharpest, or the most Interesting.
Oh, interesting always.
What is your budget?
Oh, I don't have an upper budget.
Money's no object, it's for a very close friend.
Very close, it's right here.
Jeffrey was like... The figure tilts its head as if... And just you can see the nose sniff a little bit. Yes.
Yeah, more a factor is time.
Time is not a factor here.
Ooh.
I have what you seek already. The figure tilts their head as if studying Jeffrey. Interesting, then. I have 3 such blades. There is a blade whose wounds cannot be healed by magic.
Ah. Would Corzin have heard of weapons such as this?
Roll an Arcana check, I guess this would be. This is like, yeah.
I might
Okay,
have
that's a
done.
15.
Yeah, you can roll that as well.
I've done the army.
You've
I've
heard,
heard about weapons.
legendary blades that do this sort of thing, yes.
I do not know that. I rolled 2.
Yeah, there are blades you've heard of. Supposedly, Petroleon had a blade like that. There is supposed to be a great sword like that, basically like a claymore, in the royal armory of Canon. The Regency have a couple, apparently. So the legend goes, down in their vaults. So yeah, they are.
They exist.
They exist.
And are a known
And
quantity.
are a known quantity. Thinks for a moment. There is also one blade which when it strikes will ensnare those cut by it.
Ooh.
Well, that's fun.
There is one as well.
Do go on. Corzin his rapt attention.
If it is interesting you are looking for, there is one which, for a single blow, once before dusk, will strike with all the strength and force. By the way, as they're speaking in Jovan, it is clear that their accent is reverting from a Chin to something a little bit closer to Ferocian, or maybe it's hard to place.
I can't see their face.
Yeah, something which will strike with all the fury of a giant.
Ooh. That's exciting.
So, if money is no object, what is it of those 3 that gains your interest? The blade that magic cannot
That
heal.
doesn't sound like a good idea, because Jeffrey is a bit of an unknown quantity sometimes, and it's nice to be able to help when he makes a mistake.
Well,
Yeah.
nobody is going to expect a monkey to have any of those.
The snare.
Yeah, but
boy.
we know he
sometimes gets carried away, and if he hurts someone, it's nice to be able to help them.
Yeah, if
True.
he finally does what I've been suspicious he will and kills me in my sleep, I'd like somebody to be able to sort that out.
Point taken, point taken.
Stop fucking looking at me. Okay, fine.
Or the giant, the blade that strikes as a giant.
Both of those sound quite fun.
Both of those could be available.
One for Jeffrey and one for Corzin. What? Who
Well,
said
Corzin,
that?
you've already got 2 magical swords.
Yeah.
Very true, actually.
A third seems like you've
Excessive.
run out of hands.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some proper surgery, otherwise you're not going to have a hand to... Yeah.
That's very true.
Unless
Yeah.
you wish to trade.
Well, both of my general sidearms I have sentimental attachment to.
I
But-
understand.
I suppose. I do have some things that you might not have around here that might pique your interest.
I am always interested in interesting things.
Okay.
The
He is-
face,
Oh,
the
God.
tiny figure leans forward, and you can see just a little hint of red lips and very canine sort of, like canine sort of teeth, as in like sharp pointed.
Interesting. Can I make a guess at this person's origins?
You can make a guess. I don't think you like. How would you like to make a guess? What would you like to use to inform that guess?
All right. You mentioned teeth being rather canine.
Yeah.
Can I see their eyes? Any like exposed part of their body?
Make a perception check.
Yeah.
Is this perception or is this insight? This is perception.
Perception. Okay. That's not very good. That's an 11.
Does not beat their disguise check at
Okay.
all.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you cannot tell a lot. You're not really sure what species they are. They're a little. They're your size, so maybe they could be a kobold.
Okay. I know kobolds do have vaguely canine type teeth, don't they?
But
Okay. Just
you
out of
don't know.
curiosity. All right. Corzin is going to put one of his spare pistols on the counter. Also, is going to line up some. Well, actually, he's got 4 left. So he'll line up 3 of the bombs he has.
are any of those items acquired from things with the gold star on it?
No.
No, these are
The
essentially
bombs he
regular
would have
firearms.
got. Yeah, the bombs he would have got in New Altmark. The gun he will have picked up actually in. I think it might have been Kion, actually, yeah, because he'd have taken it off the bodies of the people in the vault.
These, I would reduce a price, but they are not alone worth one of my collection.
Oh, understandable. But,
How much
useful
are the
nonetheless.
things? Because both of them sound good, but Jeffrey's got a bit of a sentimental attachment to one of his swords, don't you, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey holds up the stolen blade, and there's just a brief from
actually, I'm an idiot.
from the merchant.
What's
I
this
will
thing?
trade you both blades for that.
No,
Corzin-
no. This is an important one.
Also,
once
yes,
upon-
it is,
yeah.
and no, we don't have an explanation.
Corzin, once upon a time, would have had 2 entirely mundane swords, which I don't think he has ever sold, so... Yeah, throw them into the bargain.
Creature, the seller kind of You see them lick their teeth with a forked tongue. All right.
I read their mind.
Okay.
I know I'm the worst.
Oh. Okay, you read their mind. You hear them think. Yes, that has to be the blade that Brannigan stole. The luck blade. No. Too dangerous to try and send anyone to take it from them. Too spirit bound and something curious about the tiefling. Maybe we make a deal, make an offer. Damn it, Rakanisshu. You tipped your hand too soon. One moment, just going to roll a check for Rakanisshu. Wait. Why is the drow not speaking?
I just look away like I'm looking around, scratch my face.
Seems to... Well, you can't tell what he's doing with his eyes.
You know.
Yeah, but... Still, very well. Which then of the blades I have is...
How much are they? Because they're both interesting. And the price isn't an issue, but if they're different, that might have an effect on which one we go for.
Well, the blade that captures. Best if I show you.
I was going to say, could we get a demonstration of how these work?
They...
It might allow us to reach a decision more easily.
Okay, they raise up one arm and gesture with it. Again, can't see the hand, but it's like a sweeping gesture, and a pair of beaded curtains fall down in front of them, blocking off the back end of the shop. And you just hear the sounds of slight clattering and banging.
Do I hear anything in my head that I should be worried about?
You hear, shit, where did I put these? Okay, come on, no, it's there. No, down. Fucking hell, where the... Oh, here they go. Yeah, they are just muttering about trying to figure out where they put whatever it is.
While they're away, I just quietly message Corzin Scamp. Just a word of warning, they really want Brannigan's blade. They're also spirit-sighted. They seem to think we're too dangerous to try and get it. But yeah, just thought I should tell you both.
Good
What's
to
so
know.
good
He
about
messages
this?
back.
What's so good about this sword, then? I suppose I should probably look at it at some point with my magic stuff. Maybe later.
Never have you?
No, we've literally
Nope.
never done that.
No.
I mean, I can
I
also
was-
objects past it if we're interested in anything in particular.
Oh.
That might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, see what we can find out with both those things.
Yeah.
Alright. So, let's,
Yeah, I said something about... I'm sorry, was this figure a he? What is the pronoun you were using? Or were they
I
they?
think kind of going with a they, because it's difficult to determine their
They
gender.
were a they,
And
yeah.
they haven't really given it.
Yeah, no, they're a they. Yeah, they said it's the luck blade. Don't know if that means anything to anyone.
We had that before. That sounds familiar.
History or Arcana check.
Yes. Gamma.
Anyone who...
Natural
fine.
20.
Anyways,
Dice
right.
onto a pile of dice. That does nothing.
Okay.
Natural 20,
16.
2 natural 20s.
which is a 25
oh.
Arcana.
Okay, the pair of you have heard different legends.
Mine is a 26 Arcana.
Okay, it's still 2 natural 20s,
Yes.
but the pair of you have heard 2 different legends. So... okay. Celestia, you have heard of a blade, a short sword, that was part of the imperial regalia of the Tyrian Empire.
Ooh.
It was lost during the... Was it? Yeah, during that decade where they went through 40 empresses. after the Grail was stolen. There was a lot of civil war going on, and it kind of went out of circulation. What you have heard of it was that while the Emperor did carry it, the Empress did carry it, the Empresses who did were essentially had all the luck, despite being elves, had the luck of a halfling. They often averted apparent disasters. Many of them who were trying to be assassinated, the assassins fucked up or tripped over carpets or something at the very last moment. The blade was legendarily lost after one empress was assassinated after first being seduced, so that they'd stripped themselves naked and thus didn't have the blade on them.
Ah.
You don't know a lot beyond that. That is the legend you have heard.
It was cool.
Scamp, you have heard a different tale coming from the surface of Jova, having less of a classical history. You have heard that Alderai the Black, the great necromancer, had a blade that seemed to grant him great fortune, one legendarily made from the souls of 1,000 halflings. You don't know if that bit's true, but which apparently the legend tells that he died not once but twice, but that the first time he somehow changed a day with it. The legend goes that he somehow cut time and went back a day.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
So, but by the time he was burned in a pillar of fire at Werrick's watch, the blade was no longer in his possession. It seemed to have found another owner along the way.
Huh.
So yeah, that's what you know of the legendary Luck Blade.
Ooh, fun.
Well, we should probably have a closer look at this thing later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should.
The merchant returns with a pair of cheap pottery idols, which they put out, as well as 2 short blades in sheaths. One, they draw the first one, and it is unmistakably of Underdark make. It is a blade. There is a spiderweb pattern worked into the blade. The hilt is wrapped in what you actually realize to be the soft parts of purple worm chitin.
Mm-hmm.
It is as is the sheath. It is wonderfully made.
Any names anywhere on it?
Let me just check. No, not on this blade. You can see. The seller, Rakanishu, you now know their name, says, this is this. Actually, where would this be? Yes, this is. So the legend says, Jorogumo's fang.
Oh.
Forged by those below in Jova.
In Jorogumo, one would imagine.
By Joroguma.
Ugh.
They wrap the kind of cloth sleeves around the blade and raise it up and then say, "You may wish to take a step back."
Sure.
You step back to the edge of the tent and they smack it into the pottery, into the pottery piece. It kind of shatters from the blow, and immediately just a spray of webs cover it, and also the area immediately behind it.
Impressive.
They hold it. They carefully replace it in the sheath. This is so made that up to 7 times before the sun rises, it will do this. It will unleash its web.
That's quite a few times.
Potentially very useful.
The other sheath is wrapped in a simple brown leather case. It does not match the design of the blade itself. It appears to be a later addition. The blade pulled out, you can tell that both the blade is mithril, as is the crossguard and the pommel. But the hilt itself, the grip, is of polished jade. And down the length of the blade and along the jade itself are inscribed similar patterns to those on the jade key. The figure, Rekonishu, readies the blade with the other one and says, "If I warn you, if I do this, it will not be able to do it again for another day. But if you wish to see..."
Right.
Up to?
Yes, well, I guess we've got to at least see what it can do before we make a decision.
Put your hands in front of your eyes. Like, just
Ooh.
give yourself some protection. These are going to... Yes.
The glasses don't do it?
You should be fine. The others just look through between your fingers, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Corzin does.
It's some very good advice, because this time they draw the blade and murmuring, sort of whispering something softly that you can't quite hear. The jade lights up, and when they when they sort of drive it into the little pottery figure, it just shatters into a spray of shards, as if it had been struck less by a dagger and more like a battering ram.
That's really fun.
The
Alright,
jade
well, that's impressive.
fades out.
Very cool.
So it occurs to me, if there's a verbal means of activating that, is our friend going to be able to do that? Like, as in capable of making the noises in order to do that?
You would need to train them.
Could you
I
train
can
a
do
monkey
that.
to do that?
Jeffrey's very intelligent. See?
Excuse me.
It's just a practical concern. Oh,
With this, it is the intent that matters as much as the word.
Okay.
There we go then.
alright. Yeah, that's,
I suppose if it makes the general correct noises.
right.
Jeffrey's very intelligent.
I can imagine this is a question you get a lot, is it?
It's interesting. I like interesting.
What are they thinking?
Okay, it's been a minute, so you cast it again.
Oh, it has been a minute. Sorry, I
Yeah.
had a different spell in my head that was a different time. No,
Yeah.
it's totally a minute.
Cool.
Fuck it.
They are thinking. They're thinking, if that is a real monkey, then I am a monkey's uncle.
Celestia's eyes momentarily widen before she schools her expression.
Okay. The figure raises Jorguma's fang and says, "For this 700 gold." For this raises the giant's blade 1,500. The
Wow.
He gestures to the items. Would bring it down by 50.
All right. Would you be willing to accept payment in items to the value of?
Of course.
What do we think, everyone?
I was about to say, I look at the others and, well, we have the cash if we want to spend it.
We do have the cash.
Are you feeling a bit weird about the Underdarky one?
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, I gotta say,
Well, that's
very
that decision
much
easily
like it.
enough then.
But I mean, it's
Yeah.
not me who's going to be wielding it, but it's literally made by a drow god. Just you.
Yeah, it's going to be around. That if it makes you uncomfortable,
It makes me super uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I know it's cheaper. Also, it does occur to me that Corzin can just do that already.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was
but
more
it's funny
thinking
if
on-
Jeffrey can.
I was more thinking in terms of what is more unexpected coming from... Well, I mean, a monkey with a weapon of any kind is unexpected, but one that does stuff in addition to that. I think, especially given Jeffrey's size, if we have give him the ability to literally punch above his weight, it could be quite an
Horrifying.
advantage.
Is the word that you're looking for.
Well, horrifying to anyone who's on the receiving end of it, certainly.
Yeah.
Which could be any of us, let's be honest.
It could. There is part of me that does just feel like you are equipping him to kill me in my sleep. But fuck it, really. Also, I mean, how much money have we just earned? How are we doing? We're saving up for other ships.
We are.
Well, if we take the value of the mithril tools into account, we've got
Yeah.
the...
Yeah, we do have
We can
those.
pay in gardening tools.
We can. Very nice
I mean-
gardening tools.
We've got the equivalent. I mean, we could pay for the cheaper blade with those alone, but collectively, if we put that with the sapphires we've got, then that I think comes to 4,300.
Huh. That's quite a lot, actually.
There's loads.
To be honest, I think if it were just down to me, I would say take it out of the sapphires, and we can sell the mithril tools somewhere else to possibly someone who's... Well, I mean, it's a pretty unique item. I don't know of anyone else who would have anything like that.
Feels like I could find a collector or something.
How unique
Yeah.
are you talking?
Oh, pretty fucking cool, to be honest.
And
Yeah,
top
pretty
there,
damn neat.
interested. Are they the only ones of their kind?
I don't
As
know.
far as we know.
Have a look,
No
see what you
idea.
think.
Yeah, I will take them out.
They extend a beclothed hand. May I?
Yes?
Just to examine one of them. Take them. Put them
I'll
through.
watch them carefully.
Yes. Giant made. Ah, original. Not a reproduction. You can tell. They put it close to their face and just seem to sniff it.
Doesn't tarnish, as far as I'm aware.
As far as you're aware, no. No. I've not seen these in a long time. How many do you have?
Fair few.
How many?
How many indeed do we have? Over 8.
Includes them ever. I will count all 8 as 1,200.
Fit.
But only if I have all 8.
Yeah.
Alright.
I messaged. I think we estimated they were worth about 800, so that's actually really, really good.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly, and that leaves us
Rakanishi
only
likes
with...
owning things.
And the set, yeah, that's fair.
I mean, and that means if we want to have the giant's fist or whatever it's called,
Sorry.
we only need to make up another 300 gold.
Unless we
Yeah.
maybe just ask to up it slightly. Is that pushing our luck? That's pushing our luck, isn't it?
What you mean, upping the
Just-
value of the tools?
Just negotiate.
You could try. Do you want to try, or do you want me to?
Yeah, not very good.
I think if anyone's going to do it,
I think these
probably
tools are
best
worth
you do.
quite a lot. I think they could possibly be worth the whole amount of that sword, if I'm honest.
They're a unique collector's item.
We nearly died for these tools.
Rakanishu is not particularly swayed by your near death, so roll this with persuasion with disadvantage.
It was an interesting place. No one else are getting back in there. It's sealed off now.
That is true, actually. Probably sealed, preferably forever. So if
Yeah.
there are any more, they're all in there. No one else
Yeah.
is getting them.
How many other originals do you know of in the world?
A few.
I am.
But from this specific place, probably not.
Still roll it
With disadvantage?
with disadvantage.
No, fair. It's still a 19. Probably not enough.
What other interesting things do you have?
I have this magic hat.
Magic hat.
But it's not for sale.
That is certainly interesting.
I've got this. I take out my jar of wieners.
What?
They're wieners. Quite groundbreaking, actually.
They reach into the folds of their robe and toss you an Osirian gold pound. Give me one of those then.
Okay, go on. They give me a gold for a wiener.
They haven't had them before.
Yeah,
that's-
I
They
give,
pass
Yeah,
them into.
fair.
They just feed it with their cloth-bound hands into their mouth and just.
I give them a wiener.
It's a little disconcerting watching them eat.
That one's a Celestia sizzle.
There's a nice amount of spice.
It's good, isn't it?
What have I got? I've got this glowing stone. I've got a brick called Kevin, but Kevin's
You
my
can't
friend.
sell
You can't-
Kevin. We're very attached.
I do have something, but it would be something I'd only be willing to part with if you could give me some assurances that it wouldn't then fall into the wrong hands. And Corzin takes out the adamantine arrow.
Oh no, I can't give up that.
That's worth considerably more than the difference, I believe.
In
what have I
exchange
got?
for that arrow and the items, I will sell you the giant's blade, and I will tell you what you have. They point to Jeffrey.
How much is the adamantium arrow actually worth? I feel like I'd maybe know that.
You would know that. It is actually like it's a lot, but it is a relatively small amount of adamantium being used.
Is it like the equivalent of 300 gold pieces?
It is between 300 to 500 gold pieces worth.
Okay.
Because it's not actually an enchanted item. It's just made.
No, it's just made out of very, very precious metal.
And his offer is to sell us the last sword and tell us about Brannigan's blade.
Yes.
Sounds good to me. Also, I love the idea of us not having that arrow on us as a tracking thing.
Oh, mate, does that.
My proviso would be that you do not ever sell this to another drow.
May I? Again, holds out the palm. Well, the cloth.
I pass it over to them.
I examine it. Those terms are acceptable.
Why did you laugh?
Well.
It is satisfying to know I will have something that belonged to one of the 40 families.
Yeah, you know exactly where that came from, don't you?
I can read Elven.
I scraped that part off.
Oh, you did? Shit.
Yeah.
In which case, retcon that! This looks of fine work. Maybe of one of the 40 families.
It is.
I can assure you it is.
My terms stand then.
I'll tell you which one if you want. Would that make any difference?
I would appreciate it.
Rothnell's.
He nods as if noting that down.
Does he look like he recognises them?
Roll an insight check.
Ooh.
17.
Rakinishu is a closed book.
Ooh. I love them.
Yeah.
They haven't even given you their name intentionally.
I know, it's a problem. I love them.
I'm just going to ask them. Do you know them?
I know of the names of the 40
I'm doing
families.
another detect thoughts. I want to know.
He thinks they're newish within the last century or two, but yes, they are part of the 40.
Okay, nothing that interesting then. Cool. Yeah. No, I was just curious.
Yeah. No.
Naturally, like, burningly curious.
No. It's just thinks. You just hear him think, this would go quite nicely over the boar's head.
Yeah.
I want to look where the boar's head is.
There is no sign of a boar's head in here. You don't know where Rakinishu keeps the rest of their shit. In fact, there's not an obvious place for where they were keeping the daggers, but...
Yeah, that's fair.
I love them.
They're great. I just messaged to the other two. What do we think? It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm willing to part with that. The only other plans I really had for that was melting it down at some point and making it into something else.
Fair. I guess selling it is maybe as good as that in a way.
To be honest, if there was anywhere near enough of it, I would have melted it down and mounted it to the front of a ship as a ram.
Yeah, a bit more than an arrow for that, darling.
Yeah, exactly. Although I'm sure Benny could do an awful lot with like displacement of what's the name?
You could presumably coat a steel ram.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Maybe have a word with them next time we are that way.
They put the arrow into the folds of their robes and hold out hilt first the giant's blade, putting away the cloak, putting away the other dagger into the folds of their robe, and say, "Very well. The tools."
Hand them over.
So
Very
they
well.
also vanish into the folds of the robe.
Nice robe.
Yeah.
They shrug. They hand you.
Roomy, clearly.
Probably Probably Jeffrey takes it, I'd imagine.
Yeah, Jeffrey takes
Jeffrey?
it.
Now you have to be very careful.
I'll give you the stats for this in the break.
Now make sure you take off all the labels and the choking hazards.
For now, so they fill you in.
I love how you're worried about choking. I've just given him a literal, like, giant strength sword. I've
had a small child.
Whack.
I've had a small child. It's sort of a reflex at this point.
Fair.
Give a child anything with small parts, it seems to be their inclination to eat them.
Yeah. I can understand
Information, then. About that blade. They gesture to Branigan's blade. But also, pointing to the giant blade, it is the knife of Fen.
Fen?
It was a town, a ruin now, from whence it was recovered. Once the seat of a colony of giants. It was made for favored, lesser people that served them. They shrug, perhaps to enhance their prowess or reward them. More than that is lost to time.
And that's Branigan's blade that they're talking about.
So that's the giant blade.
Uh-huh.
Branigan's blade, they grimace. It is the luck blade. It has had many names throughout history. And has always been elusive. I have heard it said that it stays with its owner only so long as they are interesting. And then it will drop.
Jeffrey's
and
pretty
find
interesting.
another. And while it is there, it will give them the luck of halflings. But, as promised, I will tell you what I have heard of its true power. When it was made, and no one knows by who or what, it was forged from some material of power. The dying breath or blood or soul of some great creature.
Huh.
And it carried within it the power of that last breath. 3 last breaths. Or drops of blood or bones. Or you take your pick, depending on the tale. 3 times to change the world. 2, the legend says, have been used up. Once.
Do you know to do what?
Did I not just say?
Well,
change the world.
Yeah,
the
but
legend says it can do anything. Whatever you wish, it shall make it so. The last breath of a creature gods feared.
When you say a creature gods feared, I mean, do you mean like... not like the phoenix or something?
They shrug. I do not know for sure. Perhaps the Tarrasque. Perhaps the Lightning Queen. There were many titans once. Now there is one.
Yeah, we fucking know it.
Something I have ever heard the Kraken be called, the Lightning Queen.
Roll a history check. This would be.
Okay. Natural 1, but lucky.
Ooh,
Aptly.
topical.
Natural 20.
Well,
It's just on the head. You turn around and you walk face first into one of the posts holding up the tent. You kind of stumble through it. Your nose hurts like pain. It's like buggery, but it actually jogs your memory.
Hang on.
You have heard in an old tale of the Lightning Queen being mentioned in the same breath as the Kraken. They are two distinct entities. The Lightning Queen was apparently around in the days of the Giant Kingdoms.
All right.
And exactly what their deal was is a bit hazy. Lightning, obviously. Control of storms.
a queen.
And yes, it's like most versions you've heard, they were the queen of the giants. Something like the old Khan was for hobgoblins, an entity that united the different giant kingdoms back in the days when the Tyrian Empire was still a republic, and had a brief, glorious, world-changing reign. Or I'll say brief, like several hundred years before being slain
for giants.
or dying, or it's not really clear. If they were a giant, they were head and shoulders above most giants, pun intended.
Right, so storm giant, presumably.
But Rakinishu does not seem to know what the source of this was. But that is the explanation they give you. The legend holds that it can change reality once more.
Yeah, I will relay any of the stuff I know about the Lightning Queen.
But how's it supposed to do that? Change reality? How is that supposed to happen?
They shrug.
You just look at it and go, "Oh, I want it." Like what? What are you supposed to do?
Well,
I have heard that it granted the deepest wish or the most immediate desire of two bearers. One wished to create, so it is said, the greatest weapon, and so they birthed the shadows.
Oh.
One, it is said, wished to bring back someone utterly destroyed.
Huh.
You note that apparent wish conflicts with the story that you have heard about Alderai the Black, Scamp. So, yeah.
Take what you will,
a pinch of salt.
And the third bearer is Jeffrey, who wished that he could shit enough to fill my whole bag.
Jeffrey
Quite frankly,
raises
he may
the
have already
blade.
used it. No, Jeffrey. Honestly,
You've done
he might
that
have already
loads
used
of
it.
times anyway.
The legends tell that you have to have a burning, overwhelming wish to change the world.
Jeffrey really loves shitting in my bag.
Is it
I think
something
you
they can already
underestimate
do?
Jeffrey.
It's
was
not
that?
really ever been a...
Yeah, if it is something they can already do,
Probably not.
they don't need
Yeah.
to change reality to do that. They just need to be a fucking monkey.
That's fair.
Jeffrey's a very special monkey.
Apparently fucking so. What is this sword?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the information.
Yes.
Thank you for the tools and for this arrow.
Yeah, enjoy the gardening, won't you?
Yes, I appreciate it.
They,
I'm terribly sorry. We didn't catch your name.
I did not give it. They gesture, and the beaded curtains drop down again. And you hear just like a rustling as okay, no, so many fucking...
Oh, it was nearly really good.
There is a brief snapping of fingers and just like a poof of smoke comes out this time.
Oh, I want to be able to do that.
I love them. I think they're amazing.
I
we
love
should
them.
always shop here.
Yes, let's come back like all the time. And they're great. Also, I think what we've learnt here is that I should get a beaded curtain for my cabin on the ship.
Yes.
I'm sure you'd do much with it.
I think I could get a lot of mileage out of a beaded curtain, to be honest.
You'd have to design one from the ground up, though. It'd be very specific specifications.
Oh, yes.
I don't know, Nate, but meanwhile, has been watching all of this, just tilts his head.
I'm sorry, Aldenone. This is par for the course, I'm afraid.
So what you mean to say is that your monkey has the powers of a god?
Yes. And quite frankly, I think it's probably safer with him than anyone else.
Why do you think I drink so much?
I am beginning to understand.
Yeah.
But this sword we
I'm
bought
curious now how Brannigan ended up with it.
because it goes to interesting people.
I mean, he wasn't uninteresting, but not on a world-shattering level, I don't think. He was a mercenary
like Brannigan's
captain.
blades.
It's why it didn't stay with him anyway.
Racist arseholes.
Yeah.
We didn't hire them. I wouldn't know, Nate.
I was not aware that was in the offing.
Yeah. He lost his sword because our monkey took it, so he got all unlucky, so they all left.
Yeah, and
And the ship sunk, I think.
some of his previous mercenary crew applied to join up with us, but there were better candidates.
Yes.
I see. Shall we go?
Yes.
Yeah. Can I just check this sword that we've got? This wasn't like stolen from and needs returning to anyone, does it?
I have never heard of it.
The only way we're going to know for sure is if we have a look at its past. But
There is a brief, awkward rustling from the beaded curtains, and they push out, and you see. Anyone who wants to can give me a perception check, actually, because they're slightly spoiling their own illusion.
1.
Natural 20 on a different dice.
Okay.
I've rolled, 3 20s on 3 different dice?
You don't pay for these
that's a
later.
9. Oh wait, no, it's a 10. It's
Yeah.
a whole
Okay.
10.
Celestia, you're looking the other way when this happens.
They've appeared out of nowhere.
Corzin, you only catch a glimpse of the robe as they quickly kind of poke through and say, "Oh, to use it, they were." To use it, the word is Athenata, and then poke the beaded curtain closed again.
Where did you get your curtain?
Athenata, you can get them in the market.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna get one.
Scamp, you are the only person who sees them, just them, in the moment where, as they pull open, the head of the robe comes down, just briefly before they put it open, and you see a tiny red-skinned figure, smaller than Corzin. The robe is meant to make them look
I
bigger.
hadn't pictured them teeny for this whole encounter.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
smaller than Corzin, with a little pointed red nose, little black horns, burning yellow eyes, just like 2 wheels of fire, burning yellow eyes, wings, like black bat wings, and a rangy body just covered in so much imp-sized bling. Just like jewelry. It's actually a little gaudy. They quickly put the robe back up and cover it.
It was nice to meet you.
They do not respond. You make your way out.
I'm getting a beaded curtain. There's not a soul alive that can stop me.
No, let's go to the market immediately.
Yes.
By all means.
You spend 2 gold pieces on a very fine purple and blue beaded curtain.
I love it.
Like a peacock.
Yes.
And then you make your way on and out of the city and onwards to Tiope. And that is where we will pick up after these, no doubt important, messages. Welcome, traveller, to Rakanishu's Random Rarities. We have all manner of things for the discerning customer, or the less discerning. This rock will speak only the truth when it speaks at all. This lamp contains a spirit that will grant a wish, if your wish is to light a room. And finally, this Flintlocks and Fireballs Patreon consists of a wealth of special content, such as narrated audiobook chapters. What takes your fancy? And welcome back. You make your way south along the river, the direction you should be going, Scamp. It feels better to go this way. The early morning is hot with some wind, and you find yourself travelling away from the great planned city, out through the outer districts with its many waterworks and canals providing rich irrigation, and upwards towards the lower, more rugged terrain of the hills that serve, Odinone explains actually, as the border between the Stone Guardians and a neighbouring there we go, and a neighbouring Achene nation as well. They are, as Odinone explains, atop your vaguely disconcerting false horses.
What colour are they today?
What colour are they today?
Today they are rainbow.
Rainbow horses, which, as ever, attract no shortage of attention.
One is rainbow stripes and one is like polka dot rainbow.
Oh.
The Rainbow
Happy
Spirit
Pride Month.
has literally the best shade.
Yeah, it's just zigzagging around cheerfully.
It's like a little toddler.
As you are racing along, Odinone explains, the Chewa, the sea folk, they live to the east along the coast, on the far side of the hills. They trade more with Orcrest than we do.
Ah, and how do the two of your peoples get on?
We have had frictions in the past, but they have fared more peacefully with the Jovans than we have. None of their colonies are nearby to them.
Right, okay.
He shrugs a little. I have not been there often. They have ships, though.
Really? I'll be interested to see those.
He shrugs non-committally as if uncertain whether this is necessarily a good idea, but then offers no further comment.
What exactly do you mean by sea folk? Like, sorry to ask, but sailors or a particular type of people? Like the Achene or the Drow or the Tieflings?
They are Chin. They make their living from the sea. They are fishermen and traders.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I just took them to be people who live by the sea.
Wondered.
Yeah. No, it's a fair point.
Sometimes there are traders, sometimes, what is the word? Pirates.
Well, I did hear that there was stories of people who actually lived in the sea, but that was a Norrit tale, so probably true for a given value of true, but yeah.
Well, you should never deal with pirates.
Still, we will not be heading that way. We must continue south to Tiope. And continue south you do for another full night. You find yourselves having to make camp in a position on a sort of a stretch which is lightly populated. There are Achene villagers, but there is not necessarily a handy inn along the way. So I guess my question is, what is your camping situation?
The bubble.
A
Yes.
little child-drawn house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Straight out of Scamp's colouring book.
You nestle down in the house, which Odinone looks at with some wonder, and proceed to have a relatively untroubled night.
I try and make
say
it
to him-
blend in with the scenery everywhere we go.
Don't worry, you get
Something
used to it.
Do you? I need to do weirder stuff then.
It's just getting too comfortable. You've got to keep him on his toes.
That was a statement, not a challenge, Scamp.
Everything's a challenge.
I'm still a bit of a mess, so I think I have some little edibles to try and get some good sleep.
You consume a dose of anaolota.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had an idea. Hey, if you want to see how those beads work, you can hang them up over the door.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay.
Can I?
So they rustle slightly in the wind.
I love them.
You'll have to have a word with Wheels to make sure that the door to your cabin swings the right way, otherwise it's not going to work.
We'll make it work. I'll
Yeah.
put it the place the door isn't swinging. I can't
Yeah.
remember which way that is.
That's the outside of the door.
Put it on the outside. Everyone
Excellent.
will know it's my cabin.
Yeah, the doors swing inwards.
I think they already know it's your
That'd
cabin.
certainly work.
It'll have beads on and it'll be cool.
No,
I
the
shall
door.
usher people in. I shall emerge from the beaded curtain. Come inside.
Necessarily, the doors have to open inwards because otherwise, anytime someone tried to get out of their cabin, they would cut off the entire corridor.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
tiny ship corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I would like each of you to roll me a D100. I accept Celestia.
What? Why? Except Celestia. Okay.
Celestia, if you roll above a 50, reroll.
Okay.
83.
I just rolled 2 d10s, so I'm going to do that again.
What was yours?
Well, I mean, if
Scamp?
you can tell which one's tens and which one's units.
No, but I rolled 2
Two
that
D10s.
D10s. Neither of them, it could be either way around.
So Corzin was 83. Scamp?
94.
94.
3.
Okay. The three of you, in turn, dream. Corzin, you find yourself dreaming. Okay. You find yourself dreaming of the valley, the sunless valley, where the Hachnar were. You find yourself reliving the experience, going back down and in, across the cavern, the chasm wall. But you remember you envision fighting off the Hachnar again, scrambling into the safe place. But this time, when you reach the room with the underdark plants, you're too slow. You're not quite fast enough to destroy the creatures above. They descend and you watch in horror in this nightmare as they drain the last of Celestia's blood. And the pair of you flee down into the long chamber, and flying after you is the grey, colourless form of Celestia Stardust. You wake with a cold sweat. Scamp, you roll a 94. You are running through dark fog. Just running and running. And someone is calling your name. It's hard to work out who. For a moment, you're sure. Scamp. You think wisdom? Scamp. Scamp. No, victory. Scamp. Clara. The ground beneath you it feels strange, wet, squishy. And just as you think you can see the figure ahead, you trip and fall, and the ground begins to absorb you. You awaken in a cold sweat.
Ah.
Bad dreams. Celestia. You dream of running, but it's not you doing the running. Instead, you see a dwarf. A dwarf that you've never seen before. They are short, stubby, by dwarf standards, so taller than a halfling, but around 4 foot. You want to say, maybe approaching the upper 3s, and they have a bushy silver beard. There are a couple of pieces of beard jewellery in there. The small rings that you associate as being considered particularly feminine dwarf beardwear, but only a couple of pieces. It looks as if much of the beard jewellery is gone or been lost. The beard is not well combed either. Neither is the shock of silver hair on their head. They are dressed in what kind of look like, for want of a better word, almost fatigues. Not like combat fatigues, but like an engineer's fatigue. Someone who worked in a metal, with metal, or someone who they are very practical. There's a practical jumpsuit, not unlike Benny's actually. But it is torn. It is scratched. They are bleeding in places, and you hear the sound of just laughter from all around them. They are running through forests, deep forests, and something is chasing them. You watch as they turn. They raise up what appears to be a musket. Hurriedly reload and fire it. The echoing laughter falls away for a few moments, and they just, rather than trying to stand their ground and fight, they just keep running again. And because this is a dream, you see glaring out of their forehead a 5-pointed golden star. You wake confused. Not frightened. The drugs didn't actually let you have much fear. You're weirdly relaxed, but just a little discomforted.
Just weird, yeah. Was I them, or
No,
was
you
I
were
watching them?
like an outside observer.
Fair.
Almost like you were part of a group chasing them.
Oh. Could it be an eye thing?
Conceivably, you don't know. Or maybe this is just weird drug dreams.
Might be just weird dream. Yeah. Weird dreams.
Yeah,
You
me
too,
too.
then.
Oh. Lots of weird dreams going around.
That's odd.
I dreamt I was a small pig in a pasture.
Oh.
Was it,
Yours
was it a
sounds like a
nice
nice
dream?
dream?
one.
I mostly went around saying oink, oink, oink.
Of course you did. You were a pig. What else would you be doing?
That sounds lovely.
You know, I think I've had that dream before. It is quite pleasant. But,
Why have
no,
I never had this dream? I want this dream.
Sounds fun.
All right, just getting the crazy stuff out of the way. It wasn't the same dream, was it? Corzin will give a very brief
We
and
all recount
not
our
detailed.
dreams. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Apparently not
So-
then. So that's good.
All right. So it wasn't that. All right. It's just, I suppose it isn't beyond the realms of possibility that we all just had a bad dream on the same night, but that does sound a bit convenient, doesn't it?
We're all fucking paranoid as shit, aren't we?
I mean, we all often have bad dreams.
We do. That's not unusual.
But they call spirits dreams. And that's the term they use.
Yes.
Do they actually affect dreams?
Dreams could just be the closest translation that fits for what they are.
Or they could affect dreams.
They could affect dreams. I got the impression from Lord Anone, I look at him, that spirits were sort of from the dreamfold or of the dreamfold.
He shrugs a little. My uncle is the one there. They are dreams that are awake. But I have often heard of wisdom being passed on in dreams.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'd often thought dreams were just a way of your brain making sense of everything that happened to you while you were awake. Because some things, I think you'll all agree, don't make any sense at all.
Yeah, but also we know that dreams can be magic and that there is a place where you go, so I think there's a bit more to it than that.
Yeah, I think that's why we all read into our dreams so much these days. Because we know they're actually happening somewhere.
And trying to kill us actively.
Yeah,
it does
potentially.
rather change your perspective on them when you've actually been to the place where they occur, I suppose.
Doesn't help with the whole nightmare problem.
For context, though, just to give you a little point, the dreams were particularly pronounced the previous night, but I'd all like you to roll a d100, please.
Well,
Another.
No.
Another one.
Yeah, just for the sake of this.
62.
7.
Yeah, so the previous night, just for context, Celestia, you had a dream that your face was replaced.
Oh, that's happened before.
Yep, just replaced by some rando stranger's face. Scamp, you got a 3?
Yep.
I'm coming back to that. Corzin, what did you get?
Yeah, because didn't...
A 7.
I got a 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that, Corzin?
7.
Okay, Corzin, you had a dream that you had a dream about one of your old battles. Actually, you had a dream about the battle at the battle with, I think it was the Fawn, way back shortly after Celestia and Scamp joined the crew. Except that you got injured during it, but Molly was there tending your injuries. Like just
nice.
just standard dream stuff.
I hate to interrupt, but in the most on-brand thing to ever on-brand, I'm 27 now.
Huzzah!
Yay!
Yeah, we've just passed midnight.
Yeah, I
Happy
turned
birthday.
an age on air.
Happy
is cute.
27.
That's brilliant. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Birthday time.
It's my birthday now. Yay, we're also
Yeah.
having
That means
a
you can
party
open your
after sleeping.
presents.
I
Let's
could
put this
do.
entire thing on hold. So you can
No, let's open them really loudly on air and not tell anyone what's in them.
It's your birthday, so the DM is not allowed to kill your character.
That's how it would. She'd know that that's jinxing it. I love that I turned an age on this podcast. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, please carry
is.
on.
Scamp, you had a dream you've had before.
Oh
Of-
no.
Standing in a field or in just an empty black void with a full-length mirror, and the mirror breaking into 7 pieces.
Ugh. Now I think about it, I also had creepy dream before, which
Yeah,
is also
I-
a creepy dream I've had before.
I had a creepy
What?
dream of something that happened to me once, which is that my face got replaced.
Oh, that is weird.
By sheer accident, I happen to have rolled trauma-appropriate dreams for that one. But if it helps, the night before that, Scamp, you dreamt you were selling flowers out of the back of a small pushcart.
Oh, maybe that's Scamp's true calling. That would be so
Who
cute.
will buy?
I have this weird urge to become a florist.
You'd be a lovely florist.
But also, there was a void and a mirror cracking into 7 pieces.
Oh, that too, yeah? Oh, good.
You'd never get carnations the exact shade of your skin, though. That
I would.
Yes.
I'm magic.
I mean, yes, you are absolutely magic. That's my point being is carnations aren't generally.
Horses generally aren't rainbow, but
You
But
make
they
an
should
excellent
be.
point.
Throwing that out, these are excellent.
Oh dear gods, are you going to make them ride the rest of the journey on, like, giant roses, giant carnations now?
I'm gonna make plant horses
They look
with
like
flower manes.
They look like horses if you made horses... Right, you remember way back in episode, I want to say like 4 or 5.
Intimately,
4,
yes.
when when Corzin was dying from filth fever,
Yes.
and
Yes.
there was that horrifying
Fucking egg.
mobile plant.
Rose
Yes.
bush.
Yeah,
Yeah, the, like,
which you had to get the
falling
flower
one.
off. Yeah, you had to get the seed pod off. Yeah, it looks like you made 2 horses out of that and gave them manes of flowers. Like you,
Got a hankering for eggs suddenly. Anyone else?
Never.
Scrambled, definitely. Yes.
I do actually have some we picked up back in Yan, so
Ooh, we can make eggs.
I don't know, they make some scrambled eggs.
Having no
That'd be
idea
good for first
that was
breakfast.
being mean. Great, eggs.
Yeah, just so long as they're... Yeah, not hard-boiled. That's the thing.
However, these disconcerting dreams aside, you pack up your camp and carry on your journey to...
Of course, it never has ramen. That's going to be a problem.
and carry on your journey to the city of Tiope. Tiope is a city that rises. As you get closer towards the hills, the rivers begin to run more at the bottom, or the river begins to run more at the bottom of a deep valley. And built above this river, perhaps not too far from where it goes up into the hills to the source, is the city of Tiope. Like Inyan, it is constructed within the remnants of a Cloudwalker settlement. But where Inyan was a Cloudwalker city, this was a fortress. pure white stone is built. It forms an almost sort of circular wall going straight up from the base of the valley along the side of the rising hill. It's quite... If you're thinking sort of like Minas Tirith, you're in the right sort of area, but not stepped.
Okay.
Like the city in Gondor in the Third Lord of the Rings film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to get into the right mental image. So, like the big white city. You're not too far out, but just imagine like the tall bit where Denethor leaps off, and it's just that almost all the way down on one side.
Okay.
That is the outer wall, and you can see through places where the gates are open. It does actually step, but it kind of steps outwards with more of these high walls at each level going down. So it is a slightly stepped city built up, and you can see giant Cloudwalker architecture built into the sides of the walls in some places. It seems as if they were, but kind of in a way that doesn't entirely undermine them. You notice that each of these wall-side accommodations has solid doors of what seem to be burnished bronze built into them. This was, although it is somewhat civilian, it is meant to be defensible. And you do notice again the designs of bastions where at some point presumably artillery of some sort sat. Now they serve as posts for archers, or again for a small contingent of griffin riders. You can actually see a couple of griffins circling the city, keeping an eye out. But at the very top, you can see a hint of how this fell. For the upper levels of the white stone are not pure. They are marred, looking as if they were melted in place by some force long ago, by great fire. You can see places where it looks from a distance as if the stone bubbled, and then the bubbles stayed in place.
Wow.
There is, although they are not blackened, they're still white, clear white. They have the look. They have a molten look to them. Instead, the Achene have raised the top of the citadel higher, as you see 4 spires of shaped wood rising up, one taller than the others in the centre, and 3 more equidistant around it. Odinone looks up from the plantors. That is the seat of the High Queen.
Wow. It's a beautiful place.
Ridiculously beautiful. The seat that he's gesturing at, that's like big for a giant, yeah?
Yeah, so the city that they're gesturing at, for context, going top to bottom, I would say that because they kind of span from literally the top of the valley to the bottom of the valley, plus a bit of height, if you were to trace it from the bottom of the walls to the top, it would be close to 400 feet in height.
Yeah, that is big.
Yeah, this was, and the walls are thick as well, as you see as you begin to approach. As you are coming along the river, actually, you approach at the bottom end, and you can see that there is a large and heavily defensible gate that leads out towards the river, where rich fields of maize are growing. But there is a well-maintained, packed earth road that leads up towards the gatehouse. And there are, once again, a series of guards. And you do find yourselves paying out another 4 silver pieces for a gate toll. to get inside. But and this time though, there is actually a longer wait. Not because there are more people, but because you are stopped, being 3 clearly non-Achin, and there are decidedly less foreigners that you can recognise around the population here. You hear Odinone engage in a fairly involved discussion. There's a 2-minute wait. Another Achin comes down with a sort of sash of brightly patterned blue and white cotton. They have a discussion. They go away, and another person comes down wearing what appears to be one of those sleeveless long coats in blue with black repeating patterns on. After a few moments of further conversation, you are waved through by the guards, and the Achin, who has come with you, introduces themselves. They place, as ever, one hand vertically to their breastbone in greeting.
I return it.
Hello.
Hello.
Odinone has explained your purpose.
Yes.
You are...
Pleased to meet you.
Yes. Huranare.
Celestia Stardust, nice to meet you. I do a bow with a hand at the chest.
They're a bright red Achin with black hair and wearing so the blue coat actually kind of slightly clashes, and they have, of all things, just you can't help but notice they've got really thick eyebrows. It's like they got 2 caterpillars.
When you're like trying to talk to someone and you're just staring at their eyebrows.
Like bushy.
Huge.
Like,
Oh yeah,
sticky out. Yeah.
Just you're focusing on what they're saying, but your eyes just want to drift up to them. You can see Odinone pointedly not looking at the eyebrows as well. However, yes, I will escort you upwards to one of the council spires.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The 3 of you follow suit. 4 of you follow suit. Plus Jeffrey and Marjorie. You are escorted upwards through the city. This city is... Well, the main streets are wide, and there is one main street that winds up the city itself, this one being built for giants. But many of the side streets between buildings, especially here on the lower levels, are not. In fact, many of the houses seem to have been built in the times of giants, sized for human-sized figures. And this is your first sight of densely packed Achin. Still not cramped by the standards of Jovan cities, but more dense than you've seen given the predilection for space that the Achin have. People are... Interestingly, there is more of almost an anxiety down here. People are a little bit more frantic in their movements, a little uncomfortable. It doesn't seem to be from anything, but you notice. But there is often. But you notice that Achin go, out of their way to avoid, say, brushing shoulders in the street, which, for those of you who have been, and since all three of you have been to a crowded market in Alisant before, you know that can be a commonplace occurrence where you're from. Less so here. There is there you get a definite, and it does seem that the people down here are largely the poorest, the ones with the least elaborate clothing. As your escort, Hiranare, brings you further up the steps, I'd just like to point out, you are walking up 400 vertical feet of steps now.
Oh, that's a lot.
Well, close to 300, because there's the spires at the top. But
I
yeah.
have a little question, actually. Teka Grifa, Fire Eyes.
Yeah.
Was this where she wanted us to go?
No.
I've written it next to Tiope. I got really confused.
Her
No, wasn't
You
it
said
for
the
the...
Tanuki.
Was it not...
Kawigode.
Yeah, Kawagode, if I remember...
The Yamaso?
The Yamasaw...
House with blue-green walls.
The Yamasaw are the children of the sky. They're the ones with... They were the ones who sent the Griffin Raiders.
Sorry, the map I have is so low res I can't actually read
It's
the
okay.
names.
However, I believe what you are thinking of here is the... So I'm just trying to find the names here. I believe she is originally from the Anawa.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that city was south, more or less directly south of Thunder's Watch. So I'm just grabbing the map as well here.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to slow things down.
Oh, it's okay. I have...
No, it's important.
The problem with digitizing my notes is that...
If you know it's not here, we can just talk about it later.
Yeah. No. Imitar. Very similar.
Imitar.
It's not unlike
that's what
any...
that is. I couldn't read my own writing. I have written that.
Yes, her companion is in Imitar, which is part of the...
Oh, I have
Green
written Imitar.
square.
I've just written it in a completely irrelevant bit of this page to everything else I've written about her. It is actually on this page. It's just in a place where it looks like it shouldn't have anything to do with her.
No, Tekakwitha is originally Anawa, so you would not Panuki. But she did provide a bit of information about the Panuki and the Yamaso.
That's why I've got it all written near each other. Yep,
Yes.
cool. Sorry, my bad.
No,
Please
no.
carry on.
So no, that's so no, you do not have a contact here. Besides, of course, Odinone and now Hiranare. So you are brought up through. This would be 8 levels of city.
Yeah.
Get the workout today.
Divided through about 40 to 50 vertical feet of stairs
Fucking
each
leg day,
time.
that's what it is.
Yeah, you...
Everyone here must be incredibly fit.
That's the thing. Yeah, people here have good calves. There is a lot of... you notice there are very few pack animals here, unlike elsewhere, because people, when they need to move things, seem to use one of two techniques. Either putting it into a back basket and carrying it up, or hoisting it up. As you notice that there are a few portions of the city which seem to have almost dead drops built into them, which looking at you realise were probably designed to be just drop things on attackers coming from below.
Oh, fair. Is this staircase like a straight staircase?
It
just a straight
curves
vertical staircase?
along the exterior.
Alright, of course, it's going to... Scamp. Can you imagine sliding down this on a tea tray?
That would be fun.
It
That would
does.
be really fun.
You do kind of have this thing where it goes diagonally up and around through about 3 of the stories. Then you have to walk vertically along to the other side through a gate in a step, up another 3 stories, along through a gate in a step, and up the last couple of stories. So it's not all one staircase, but it is involved. But no, There are actually dead drop sections where people coming from the lower levels could have been essentially been murder holed and had attackers throw things down on them. And the Achene have inventively established a number of pulleys. So there are hoists with essentially like cargo dumbwaiters, and teams attached to something not unlike a capstan, who can with just muscle power hoist up various goods. It is actually slower than using the stairs, though, which is why they do not just have some sort of lift system going on. The lifts are definitely cargo lifts.
Boo!
You eventually, after like half a solid hour, it certainly feels like, of climbing stairs, and one break halfway through of about 5 minutes, where Hurinare and Odinone both sort of give a slightly
Can't fault you on your defensive design here.
And then carry on the rest of the way up. It's made worse by the fact that the stairs are shallow, because they're done in that one long step, one short step design that's meant for giants and their servants.
Yeah.
But you do make it to the topmost level, as it is today. You can see that there were higher levels still. Up top here, you can just make out beneath the shaped wood walls the half-melted remains of some great castle. This final keep at the top of this citadel.
What happened here?
Yeah, it is long gone. And grown in and around it are the 4 spires. You can actually see what look like roots of wood wrapping around and anchoring into the remaining portions of the Cloudwalker Keep. These are built... The architecture is not unlike that of the Sanctuary, something vaguely reminiscent of a stupa, almost in design. Going up to a single point at the top with multiple levels inside, but writ large. The tallest of these goes up another 100 feet. Wow. Entirely. You, however, are escorted to one of the 3 on the edge. Going inside, by the way, as you go further up, the houses start to get more sparse, there is more space, and people seem to get richer. So here on the top level, you're seeing people with lots of very colourful, very ornamented garb. Hurinare leads you into one of these external spires, where there is a hive of activity. Various, for want of, as far as you can tell, Achene civil servants seem to be moving around, engaging in various administrative tasks. But there are a number of small bowls, not bowls even, but grown into the wall, bowl-like depressions in the wood, filled with crystal clear water, all around this bottom area, and just all on the walls. And floating in them are sometimes a few petals, sometimes you'll see like a small... you'll see a branch of wood that looks to have been burned. And flittering around-ish these, but not with the same intensity that you would see else in a true temple, are spirits. In slightly greater concentration than elsewhere in the city. But as ever, spirits flock to people.
I'm gonna ask both of our guides, if you don't mind me asking, if it's not invasive, what do those do, the bowls of water?
The Hurinare frowns. They are for the dream speakers to deal with. They help to honor the dream, the dreams in general.
Is there
Any
any
dreams?
kind of equivalent in the Regency Church?
Looking at it, these resemble a lot the small minor shrines that you would find around the outside, around the early parts of any church or cathedral back home.
Right, okay.
But rather than having like little icons above them, these are just bowls with a few things floating in. Something. It's as if you took the process of making an offering and deliberately stripped away almost the religion.
So, this is an any dreams welcome sort of situation.
Yes.
I like that.
That's nice.
So, it's very different in a bad way where I'm from. This is nice.
You see Hironori open their mouth and then shut it again.
What were you going to say? Sorry, I'm so nosy. You don't have to say it. That was rude.
Yes. I have heard many bad things of Jova, but that is neither here nor there. You may have the room that was assigned to him. And without further comment, he leads you up a set of stairs to
I want to let the
an apartment.
rainbow spirit pop over to the bowls and see if it's interested.
It flitters around for a little bit.
Same with the octopus.
They both nod by. They both seem to flitter by. One of the attendants takes a small cone of incense, burns it on the edge. The little and the octopus kind of flitters around it for a little. Kind of tilts their head, shrugs. The smaller fish spirits, though, do flutter around it for a little bit as the incense burns down.
New experience for you?
The ambivalent octopus shrugs.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what the rainbow spirit does is it dips in all of the bowls in turn and then just does a little, like, wee circuit and then comes back to me.
Yeah, it does, pretty much. It tries everything and then comes back, vaguely interested, but doesn't seem to be quite a sustaining affair as it would like.
Oh no, it just has a go.
Yeah.
I don't think it does anything
it's just like
for it.
it's like going through a buffet and just having one of everything.
Yeah.
Returns with all the canapes.
So, you are led up to an apartment. Essentially, there is a mattress as well, and actually, you can see several thick rugs have been at some point sprawled out into mattresses, effectively to allow for a larger number of people, certainly larger than the four of you. There is a large table, again of this beautifully shaped wood, polished, varnished, and a set of drinking vessels in painted ceramics. There is a window as well, circular, with shutters, which you are able to open and get a good view of the city from.
I would like to ask, is this a place where a lot of pilgrims come?
Yes, it is the seat of government, but also it is where the wisest dream speakers join the council.
Huh.
That's what I was thinking.
All the council are Anwa. Some are accepted for their skill, their wisdom in other ways.
So not all of them are dream speakers?
He shakes his head. No.
That makes sense.
Only Councillor... read my own handwriting. Only Councillor Tula Notare in the current High Council.
Ah. Fair enough.
You are in High Councillor Serunanunde's spire, but the Councillor will not speak to you directly. They will debate on when and where to speak to you, and then you will be called.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Please remain here for now.
Of course.
All right.
Sure.
Food will be brought.
Thank you.
Much obliged.
Gives a little Chin salute and then closes the door.
Well, this is all very civilized, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that as a religious thing. That's cool.
Well, I think we've seen pretty much extensive evidence at this point that while spirits do tend to congregate around religious people or figures, it's absolutely not a requirement.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Odinone looks a little uncomfortable for some reason. You can see him a little agitated.
You're
You're
alright.
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 Snap.
Yeah.
We are guests, but I do not think we are allowed to leave.
Oh.
Why not?
He looks around a little anxious and points to the ceramics, and you can see behind it there is you can see behind it there, fallen off the table onto the floor, there is a slightly dented what appears to be a tobacco tin with a it's a fairly plain tin with a little symbol of a mermaid on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't appear to be a Chinan make.
Huh. Would I be able to make a guess as to where it was from?
Just looking at it, could have been picked up in any port town in Java.
All right.
What makes you think that, Ordinary?
I understand they hosted the thief here when we did not know what he was.
Oh, I see. Right.
So this is as much like a cell as anything else.
Why have they posted us here then?
We're outsiders. They don't necessarily know that we can be trusted yet.
Yes.
Do they think that we stole stuff?
I do not know, but I think they are perhaps being cautious.
Yeah,
Oh,
best we
that's
can
fair.
do is just show them that we have nothing to hide and that they have nothing to fear from us.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, good luck to them keeping us here if we decide we don't want to be here.
Quite.
I don't
Let's
think
hope
that'll
it doesn't
be a
come to
problem,
that.
though.
Yeah.
Is it
Because
sanctum?
we do want to be here. And hopefully there's nothing hostile going on.
Is this place a sanctum?
Uh,
Is there? How do we easily tell? We should have a test for this.
Well,
I
Corzin will
could
attempt to
try and
send you
read
a message.
Corzin's mind.
Yeah, all right.
I try and read Corzin's mind.
Corzin, what are you thinking?
Corzin, if Corzin knows that Celestia is trying to read his mind, then he will start thinking about the lyrics to, Randy Dandio.
Yeah, you just hear a chorus of Evo, Evo. Yeah, it is working.
Yeah, it sings Corzin. Way, roll and go. Yeah, it's working.
All right, well that's working. All right.
I don't think
Okay,
it's
Nice
well,
harmony.
we're fine. Good. Well, then that's okay.
Yeah,
we
I'm
can
not
leave
reading your
whenever
mind
we
anymore,
want.
by the way. You can think about whatever you like now.
Thank you. He continues to think about shanties for a while, just because.
I don't read his mind any more than that.
Yeah.
I respect his privacy.
After a little while, a little bright red feathered bird flutters to the window.
Ooh. That's
Hello.
pretty.
Hello.
Tilts its head to the side. Odinone sits down kind of on the chair next to it and goes, and sort of looks in. Kind of peeks closer. He takes a little bit of tortilla out of his pocket, out of his rations, and feeds it to
I was
him.
going to say, has anyone got any food?
Oh, so much food.
We've all got food.
Do you know this bird, or is it just a friendly bird?
It is just a bird.
Well,
Are you talking to it?
Not as such, but he shrugs.
I'll pick some seeds out of the travel rations I've got and offer it to the bird.
The bird is a little bit less instantly comfortable with you as it is with Odinone, but it seems calmed by his presence and does peck the seeds out of your hand. Cheerfully enough.
Seem to like that.
There is a slightly awkward cough from Odinone himself.
I turn to look at him.
It is not exactly speaking. More it is a trick you learn as you get older. If you spend time, you can do a little more with it.
Oh, well, I've heard there are some very clever people who can have animals relay messages for them. Is that what this is?
So you were kind of talking to the bird.
Ah.
Not in words.
Birds don't use words.
But if they did, the word would be bird.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
Well, we finally know what the word is.
It is more
Sounds very late.
sense of if I is there anything we especially want to know?
About the place?
Yes.
I'd like to know if the people who are keeping us here are angry with us and if we should be worried. That's the main thing I want to know. I know it's kind of boring, but
No,
yeah.
it's a good, useful piece of information to know.
Odinone, looking a little awkward as if what he's doing is slightly taboo to do in public, leans to the bird, offers a bit more bread, some seed, and just starts whistling at it. The bird. Gently kind of runs a finger across the crest at the top of its head. It dips its little body twice, and he leans back, closes his eyes, and the bird flitters out of the window. Doesn't really say anything for a couple of minutes.
Oh, it's a Marjorie.
Oh.
Is it a Marjorie?
Everything all right? I mean, Scamp, did it look like it could be something like Marjorie?
Well, just because he's gone all not here a little bit.
For the pair of you, Corzin and Celestia, you saw no spirit interaction happen here.
All right.
This feels a bit more like when Celestia conjures darkness or dancing lights.
Oh, something inherent.
Or like when Scamp does fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, retaliatory fire. It seems to be something inherent.
It's, I don't know. This feels like an Achene thing. Didn't see any.
Yeah,
swords.
but the effect
Interesting.
seems to be that like I can see through Marjorie's eyes.
That's true.
That feels like what this is.
So, what's it
But
only? You
maybe
said
with
it's,
with a normal bird.
Yeah.
that anyone can do that?
Odinone does not respond to you at all.
He can't hear you. He's doing a Marjorie.
It's totally doing a Marjorie.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the same spell, but it.
Maybe that, but yeah, but
Well,
with,
I mean, that's
with a
good
bird,
to know.
rather than
Didn't
like a
know that
Marjorie
before.
bird.
What are you saying about Marjorie?
I wasn't saying anything about Marjorie.
Nothing at all.
Odinone, unprovoked, says, "She has found Huranare. She will follow." Doesn't say anything else, but after about 12 more minutes, Odinone speaks again. They have found the counselors. They are discussing. It is heated.
All right.
One of the... One is saying they should just take the relics. And one is making the case that they should hear you. One seems conflicted. They are angry about Bearlock.
Well, understandably.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean, they don't need to take them. We'll give them.
I mean, do they think that we're trying to keep them?
No, one says they should take them and make you disappear to be safe.
Oh,
The
nice.
others do not agree.
Disappear to be safe?
They should murder us in case we take anything else.
Oh.
The Queen does not appear to be here. They are deciding whether to bring you to her. Wait. Odinone's eyes flick open. I think they may have noticed the bird. I have left her to be safe.
Fair. Thank you for doing that.
Please do not. Do
My
not
lips
mention
are
that.
sealed.
We won't tell anyone, thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Comprehend Languages while we're just hanging around.
That's a good shot.
Such a good idea. So sensible.
Oh, okay. Scamp, roll
Uh-oh.
2d10, please.
Um, 11?
Okay, you manage to complete Comprehend Languages about a minute before the door opens.
Nice.
And there is... and you see Hurinare reappear, as well as as another Achene carrying a tray full of various food items, mostly filled tortillas, and some drinks. The council will see you. Do you need to eat first?
Not necessarily, no. Everything's fine.
No, I think we're fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
She
we don't
nods
want to
to the
keep them
other-
waiting.
He nods to the other Achene who puts the tray on the table. Come, then. And beckons for you to follow.
I do.
It takes you about 3 more minutes to get to where you need to go.
Just on a whim, Rainbow Spirit is going to ruffle Scamp's hair and just fuck about with Corzin's tricorn and like make it drop into his eyes and then put it backwards and then put it back forwards and spend a couple of minutes like comically straightening it, and you both get inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
As you are walking down the spire and along,
It's D8, right? Or is it D10?
D8.
Right. Never remember.
You do see an Achene who is walking by, glance over at this with some interest. But they seem to have business elsewhere, especially seeing the company who you are being accompanied by, and they carry on without interrupting you. You are brought from one of the outer spires to the central spire, which seems to be built over the most intact portion of the old giant keep. You are led up a series of grown stairs and into a quite richly decorated sort of atrium hallway initially. It's not actually carpeted. There is a grown wood, a shaped wood flooring, but there are finely coloured and patterned, almost like tapestries, wall hangings either side, as well as decorative, essentially like oil lantern holders, made of what appears to be gold. They're just made of gold. Or at least covered in it. Actually, there's apparently it's common enough that they'll just put that on lamp holders here.
Jesus.
Wow.
So, as you approach, you are led down this atrium towards a large cavernous room, and you can hear somewhat aggravated Achene, Panuki Achene, to Corzin and Celestia. This kind of just is just sort of Scamp, however, you can hear a conversation. The conversation going something like this. It is for that reason alone that we should not trust them. Who knows why they would bring this back? Perhaps it is a rival faction of some sort. They are seeking a political gain here. I do not feel this is the case. We need to consider that their intent might be true. We thought the intent was true of Bellekom. I know that they were false, and this, if anything, is proof of why we cannot trust the Jovans. I know you were hoping for advantages from them. Damn the gunsmith. I was hoping that... Never mind. They have arrived. They turn, and you watch as, and you can see, you come into a throne room. It is a throne room sized for giants, what remains of it. So it is vast. And the lower portions of this chamber remain intact. Fine white stone. Fluted columns of cloudstone in the ancient Cloudwalker style. Achene hangings have been displayed down the sides and in places, one or two of the original arched windows, window ways still exist to give light. But the roof was long since slagged by whatever melted it. You can see in places where the wood joins and grows over it, the bubbled stone. The remainder of this chamber has been finished by an arched ceiling of shaped wood, from which hang a number of vines almost that grow out of it and terminate in softly glowing bulbs, bioluminescent almost in their feel, but giving off a warm yellowish light, enough to illuminate this chamber at night. The floor carries... the floor being stone actually does have a sort of central carpet that leads up to a raised stone dais upon which sits a throne, beautifully carved, beautifully worked, in a style almost alien. Flowing metal, a style and a design that to a viewer from Earth would look like a mixture between classical Greek designs and 1920s Art Deco.
Ooh.
Made of a mixture of gold and mithril. And
wow.
Sat upon it, you can see there is brooding, one cheek resting on a fist in that very kind of Conan the King style, is a yellow-skinned achene with white-tipped feathers and golden irises in a black and yellow long coat, with a sleeveless coat with tunic and trousers. She has gold woven patterns into the long coat instead of black on yellow. It's more yellow on black, more gold on black in this case. And she has a circlet upon her head of what appears to be woven golden mithril, and looks up, studying you. Her eyes don't narrow, but they do run over each of you as you approach. Ahead of her and below, gathered around a table, a circular table of shaped wood, are three more Chin, the three councillors, who turn as you enter. The Queen calls out to you. It actually calls out to you at first in Hat no Tatnya. Pauses, raises a finger. One of the councillors, a black-skinned, jet black-skinned councillor urchin with yellow-tipped feathers and golden eyes, puts their hands together and murmurs softly. And several of the just spirits that are just flitting around this palace come by. A little something like a dragonfly, something like a bird, something like a floating fox, seem to focus on his words. And then they each seem to melt into a wisp of gold to your spirit sight and pass into the... Actually, sorry, no, this would be gold. Into wisps of silver and pass outwards, striking the tongues of the two other councillors and the Queen. The tongues to your spirit sight seem to turn silver for a moment before fading. And the Queen then says to you, in fluent Jovan, "Approach, travellers."
Thank you.
I do so.
Yeah, we do.
Hurinare bows his head slightly and makes the sort of Achean gesture of greeting.
I follow him.
Yeah,
I think.
would return it.
Yeah.
The Queen doesn't do the exact same gesture back, but instead does a strange gesture where she just raises 2 fingers upwards and inclines her head. Which is not really a gesture you've seen anywhere else, but she's a queen, so apparently the rules of etiquette are different. The councillors, however, do mimic the same hand-to-breastbone gesture. And Hurinare says to you, "Travellers, may I present Queen Tia Panoke." He then gestures to the councillor who appears to be a dream speaker. "High Councillor Tulanotara." Gestures to another Achean. These other 2 do not have feathers, they have hair. The first one is bright blue with black eyes. So the exterior iris, what would be the white is black, as with all Achean, but the iris is black as well. So he just looks like he's just 2 black orbs, like you sometimes see in tieflings. He has long white hair, though, and both he and the other councillor appear to be quite old, actually. You can see the wrinkles and lines of age, more in the dream speaker than in this one. You would peg them as being the older one in their 70s, the younger maybe in their 60s. They gesture, Hurinare gestures to them, "High Councillor Anatonako." And finally gestures to the third councillor, the youngest, you would guess in their 40s, with red skin, red eyes, and hair which is red but black at the tips, tied back in a ponytail. Councillor Serunanunde. The Queen gestures to the table. I understand. You have brought what was taken from us.
Yes.
Yes, thank you for seeing us.
Yes, we do appreciate it, and it is why we've come here largely to speak with you about this.
Yeah, I guess we put everything on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you put
how much
everything?
difficult... Yeah, how hard is it for me to take this amulet off?
Make a wisdom save, please.
Okay, 17.
And how many days have you won this for now?
How long's it been? I've
Close
not taken
to-
it off.
Yeah, it's been...
I can have a look at the date, actually.
It's the
Hang
21st,
on.
it's been 10
Yes,
days.
the 21st of full ripeness. You got
Yeah.
it on the...
That'll just about do it. But you... as you try to take it off, you just find your whole body turns south. And you just... There's a moment where you just stare into the distance before, with some effort, you take it off. And
Okay, sorry, that was harder than it should be.
you've got it. You go to put it on the table, and it actually takes several seconds for you to get your fingers to release.
You right there, Scamp?
Yeah, it's fine. It just doesn't want to come off.
Of course it doesn't. It wants to go south, like you do.
Yeah, I've got to go south.
I understand.
I don't. That's not actually a normal sentence.
The oldest councillor, Tulanotare, the dream speaker, leans forward. How long have you worn that for?
it was really useful, so I kept it on and to keep it safe. So a couple of days, quite a while.
Like a week.
A week.
Astounding. And you were not harmed by it?
No.
You didn't look like you were being harmed.
You've been fine.
No. I wanted to go south.
Yes.
But that's kind of where I wanted to go anyway, so it didn't really...
The blue-skinned councillor, Anna Tanako, snaps at Tulanatari. That means nothing. We have not seen one of these... Child, what is your name?
Hi, I'm Scamp. Nice to meet you.
Anna Tanaka nods. I have not encountered one of your kind before. What is the name for your people?
Oh, I'm a tiefling.
Thank you. We have not encountered tieflings before. It could be that they are not harmed by the amulet.
That's
Even
possible.
So.
What would have happened if
pretty
either of
unusual.
us had worn it?
You would have been in great pain, says
Yeah.
Anna Tanaka.
Well,
We did have that conversation,
good
didn't
job that we didn't do that then. We have bought these things here in recognition of the fact that they were taken from your people. Taken by people...
Stolen. Let's be... They weren't taken, they were stolen.
Yeah, taken implies some form of accident. This wasn't.
Yes, says the youngest councillor. Yes, they were. Why do you bring them back?
Because they were stolen, and that's what you do with stolen property.
Yes, they were...
Well, honestly, though, we did also want to ask some questions, but these are for you regardless of whether you're happy to answer our questions. They are yours.
Yeah, if you said fuck off now, they'd stay on the table.
But I will be going south. I think it's important.
Councillor Anna Tanaka opens his mouth as if to say "fuck off," at which point, sorry, I can't remember. Did I actually mention the youngest councillor's gender at all?
I don't think you did.
Okay, sorry.
Not sure, actually.
They are a she in this particular case. The
Could I have the three councillors' names again? Actually,
Yes.
I got Tula Matate and I got Sarah
So,
More.
yes,
I didn't get the middle one.
so yes, there is Tula Natare.
Natare.
Tula Natare.
Tula Matate is someone we've already met.
Yes, Tula
Yeah,
Natare is someone else.
apologies.
Sorry, they've limited
So,
ones to break
I
up.
may have to ask you for the
Namare.
spellings of this later, but...
And what was the second one?
Then there is Councillor Anna Tanako,
Anna Tanako. That's the one that I didn't get.
and then Serenanunde.
Sarah Nanunde.
Yep. And the Queen is High Queen Tio Panoke.
Hang on, could you say the third one again? I'm so sorry. Sarah
Serunanunde.
Nanunde.
And Tia Panake. Sorry, Tio Panake.
Cool.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
Make sure I was getting people's names right.
That's right. So, the... let's just change that. Cool. Sorry, yes. So, Sarah Nanunde, she turns and... you see, she turns as if to make an acerbic comment, and Anna Tanaka opens his mouth as if to say, "Well, fuck off then." But the Queen holds up a hand. Wait. You strike true to me. She looks at each of your eyes. Before I render judgment, ask your questions.
Oh.
This is your territory, darling.
Yeah.
Look at Scamp.
Oh dear. I should have thought this through properly.
You're searching for something. Talk about that.
There's a gateway. We're told it was on top. There's one on top of a mountain. It's the easiest one to get to, but it takes us somewhere. Do you have sorcerers here? Is that a thing? Do you have another word for it?
There's a brief moment where they frown as if it doesn't directly. It doesn't quite translate through the spell.
This might help. Somebody else called them, with regard to spirits or dreams, as you call them. Somebody called them someone who burns from within. I don't know if that bridges the gap at all.
Someone who can do magic without, and Corzin will just gesture to the spirits around them.
Tulanatare, the oldest
I mean,
councillor.
if you have spirit sight, you should be able to see they look different.
The Queen looks at him. He narrows his eyes. Yes, you do, child.
So we found a circle, a magic circle that looks like a lot like things that the Cloud Walkers had. And I can use them, and I think there are more, and I'd like to learn more about them. And there's this door somewhere. And that thing, this amulet, it's a key for it. And I think it's important that I go there. And to the top of a mountain, there's a place for people who do magic like me.
The youngest councillor says, "Prove it. Make them prove it. You would know
Okay.
how." Tulanatare puts up a hand. Please. If you are what you claim, then hold no device of many metals, no wizard staff or rings, and I will see if you call upon the dream, but work a spell.
Okay, here you go. Here's all my things. There's a lot of them.
You just put a whole bunch of stuff onto the table. There's
There's magic stick, there's the statue, there's my bag, there's all the stuff. I'm gonna give Jeffrey friend. Jeffrey, you hold this.
Jeffrey quickly closes their hand around friend with a surprising amount of sleight of hand, just like as if they are, to a degree you feel almost certain that no one in this room would have seen the tiny skull.
Oh.
And the other skulls are just in my pack, I think.
Yeah.
I've put them in with
Just
my
put the
stuff.
pack on the table. Okay, unburdened of any possible staff or wand, with no rings upon your fingers, the eldest councillor nods to you.
I'm gonna do a thing that I've not really seen other people do. And I'm trusting with you with this one, okay? Because I think it's dangerous if other people learn it, maybe.
They nod slowly.
Okay.
And I will dimension door if I can in here.
Where do you want to go?
Just across the room.
So
Not far.
Just to the opposite side of the table.
Yeah, not far at all. Not far enough
Yeah,
to be
just
threatening.
There's just you just focus do the gestures that come naturally to you, just instinctual, and then there's a brief sort of inrush of air where you were, and a puff outwards of air where you are as the displacement happens. But that's all. You just are not and are. And the reaction is immediate. Just all of the Achin in the room just stumble backwards. There's shock. There is surprise. They're like... Tulanatare is looking as if he has seen something he has never seen before, and he's pretty old. He's seen a lot of shit.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
That Anna Tanaka says, How did you know? That should... It is impossible, says Tulanatare.
And yet...
It's not impossible, it's just unlikely.
No. If it is impossible, then you are, and the Queen interjects, one who burns within. Could it be? I would not believe had I not seen with my own eyes. And yet... The youngest counsellor stares with a mixture of intrigue, a little fear, and uncertainty. Doesn't comment, just watches.
Is it a bad thing here? I probably should have checked before I did all this, really, shouldn't I? Oops.
In spite of himself, the eldest counsellor smiles. Be at peace, child. It seems there is... Yes. Those who burn within are the names we give to the first, the greatest of the Cloud Walkers. They who could do the impossible, who wrought reality as if it were clay.
Jeffrey can do that now.
Does rather sound like you, though, Scamp.
No, I don't do... Well... Sometimes sometimes I want things to be different to how they are, just a little bit.
Well, you're an exception to a lot of rules, aren't you?
Like, just a little bit. I can feel something's going to happen that I don't want, and then it doesn't, because I don't want it to. And I thought it was just, wanting it, and it being a coincidence, but I don't think it is anymore.
It's not.
No, there are lots of people who want things very much that just doesn't happen.
If someone's going to punch me in the face, I can want it to not happen as much as I like. It's still going to happen if I don't dodge it in time.
Yeah, I have to do something in order to stop that from happening.
It doesn't just not happen because I want it. But different with you.
So, there have been records of strangers of many kinds across the centuries who came from abroad, across the seas. Some who came in ships, some, it is said, flew, and some found their way. It seemed by no means at all as if they had but walked there through a strange path.
I I think that's the path I'm looking for.
We do not know where they went, but the records speak of each of them having great power to reshape the world. But they did, we know from here, go south. To the mountains.
We were told a mountain.
Yeah.
Which mountain? I do have the name if you can't remember, but you were...
I have no idea.
It was the mountain of Heuka Hasapa. If you say that name, then...
I looked to Scamp as to whether they say it or not.
Yeah.
It is the tallest mountain
Yes, that's the one.
of the Sky Claws.
We've got a climb coming.
Nah, we've got a fly coming.
Yeah, it's fair.
Have you a map?
Do we have a map?
I think you do actually have a map, like it's a little sketchy, but you do actually have a map, which I think you acquired possibly from Tecaguifa.
Yeah, I was going to say, did
Yeah,
we
we
not get one from
did.
Tecaguifa?
Yeah, of course we did.
So,
I imagine Corzin's got that. He feels like the map haver.
He will bring it out.
Taking the map, Tilanatare draws a line south from where they are. TOP is actually approaching the hills, but actually on the edge of a great forest. And far south, many, many days by flight, magic horse, take your pick, actually longer, because magic horses don't do well in woodland. There is the tip of the Sky Claws. His finger follows along the whole length of the Sky Claws to the point where they reach a great desert. And points not to the very edge, but a little bit in from there. That is Heuka Hasapa. Sorry, again, is Heuka Hasapa.
Where the rivers intersect?
So going all the way south, look at the edge of the desert.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah, it's not far from there. Kind of at the point where the two... You see how there's forest on either side? It's around about where the edge of the two forests are, right in the dead centre. So
Must be worth sailing down the coast and going inland from there.
Yep. You reckon it to be close to 1,200 miles south.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long way.
Sorry, 1,200 miles.
Oh, that's quite far.
It is
Yeah.
about the length of Jova.
I don't suppose there's any of these circle things nearer it that you might know. I've got a picture of one. I'm going to find my sketch.
Show me. You show him the sketch. He nods. As they frown, Sirenanunde taps their finger upon it. She says, "That I have seen a drawing of such from those who went into the deep woods. Yes, long ago. There is the ruin of Then. It was a cloud walker city.
Ruin of
Yes,
Foxford?
Then.
Jeffrey's got this knife came from there.
Examine it.
Apparently.
So, Sirenanunde, who the other two actually look to her to examine it. She appears to be the one who has the most knowledge of these types of artifacts. Extends a hand to the monkey.
Jeffrey?
Jeffrey, don't make us look bad, come on.
With ill grace, Jeffrey hands over the blade.
Sorry, I just look at her.
What manner of creature is this?
This is Jeffrey.
Monkey, we think.
Yeah.
Zoranunde reacts as someone who has possibly never heard of a monkey, or possibly just believes that monkeys are like this where you're from, and seems to take it in stride. She draws the blade from the sheath, examines it. And with some reluctance, with looking at Tulanatare, who gives a subtle nod, hands it back to Scamp specifically. If you are what you say,
I don't know.
Use it well.
I don't know what I am. That's kind of why we're here. I was hoping you'd have some answers, or could help us find some.
I can tell you where within the forest it is.
So I suppose you've got the picture.
We can find it, yes, in the rare courts.
Very helpful.
It is not as detailed as that. You get the feeling from what she describes that you won't be able to get a full gate signature just from the picture.
Damn it.
But she does actually send Hurinare away, and after later on, about 20 minutes later, they do bring an old scroll which carries a depiction of what appears to be a gate in some sort of chamber overgrown with foliage that annoyingly does not have a complete inscription on it, but is nevertheless recognisably one of these gates, one of these platforms. So you know it exists, and she is able to... She looks to you. Are any of you able to read your position by the stars?
I should be able to have a fair crack at it.
So, as well as this picture, which actually they don't give you the original scroll, but they do make you a copy of, she is able to provide you essentially with a star chart map of its location. So, with the handy aid of, actually, this is part of your navigator's equipment, an astrolabe.
Yeah, I have navigator's tools and, I mean, sailoring, if that would come into this.
Yeah, with a sextant and an astrolabe, you will be able to find the precise location. And the precise location, one moment while I just measure this.
Is this map on the chat?
Yep. Sorry, it's the old one. It's the one that was. I can put it...
Don't worry.
Don't think I have it on this computer.
You're all good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about close to 350 miles, almost directly due south.
Okay.
All right, 300 versus 1200 is different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does
this is
change things slightly.
It is... Beware. It is through the forest.
What's in the forest?
Forest terrifying, Corzin. Keep with the program.
Yeah,
No, I mean
forests are the
specifically. There
worst.
are
I said
a
it with
lot.
complete sincerity.
There are a lot of forests, Celestia. That's not being very specific.
All the woods are horrifying.
Yep.
And
Never
these
found a good one.
are the same.
What
Right.
particular breed of horrifying?
The
Are they-
outer edges of the woods are safe enough, but go deeper than a day's journey, and you will enter the ruins of the Cloud Walker Empire. They made places hidden from view, sealed valleys, so that only those who knew the way could find them.
Ah.
Okay.
Many. Once. Long ago. But the buried serpent made war upon them. She looks sad for a moment. A war they lost. And when it was done, it cloaked the centre of Sunder in forest to seal away the places they hid.
Ah.
And other things took residence.
Okay.
What things?
Creatures at first, but also she looks as if she wants to spit, lesser gods that fell in the war. The buried serpent's minions. They were bound. But as the Empire fell, their bindings loosened, though were not undone. Those creatures, would-be gods pressed to flesh, still roam within.
Okay.
Okay. That's horrifying. This bound serpent, what did it look like? It's a weird question, I know, but we killed a serpent thing that said it was a god, and I just wondered if it was a relation or similar or something.
That's a
Yeah,
good point.
actually.
It was the great god. She looks as if she's saying a dirty word. Of the Yornti, our ancient enemies.
Right. Not made of fire by any chance, was it?
Bill, it is depicted as a serpent with feathered wings.
Oh.
Did ours have wings?
No.
No, it's more like a giant lava eel, that one.
Okay.
No, ours was more like an eel without wings.
Yeah, that's relief then, because...
I mean, if it was that,
That would
one,
have
it's
been
dead.
fun, wouldn't it? Sorry, that was a weird day that it would take a really long time to go into.
There are things out there that believe themselves to be gods, but aren't.
Yes, one of them calls itself the Regent.
Right.
I like you. Oh, sorry, I should be more respectful, but...
She seems
Corzin's just silent through that.
a little nonplussed by this, by how positive a response that got. Almost as if she was trying to antagonize you and it just completely backfired.
The one person that could have antagonized just stayed quiet quite smartly.
We all have a bit of a complicated relationship with
Religion.
churches.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah.
Well, take this advice. If you go into the woods, do not draw attention. Do not make
Oh no.
loud sounds,
Oh no.
such as
Right.
those these guns create. There's a pause. I notice that you are well armed.
It pays to be prepared.
name again?
Corzin.
Corzin.
Oh, I don't think we did that. Celestia Stardust. Nice to meet you. Hello. I think we forgot.
Are you a maker of such weapons?
Not really. I understand the principle, but I lack the fine skill required in order to actually make them. I could possibly explain to you how they are made.
We are able to make simple ones, but the thief promised me an armorer
Is that
for our aid.
Oh, bastard.
right?
I mean, I know a little bit. I used to work for one.
That's true. Scamp has
They're the
more
best in
knowledge
the
of the
group.
manufacturing of these things than I do. I can teach people how to use them effectively, but the actual making of them.
I started using guns like a few months ago for the first time ever. You can't really use them where I'm from, so I'm not your person. Happy to help in other ways if I can, though.
Had a member of their expedition, a dwarf. They claimed to be such, but when they stole what they came for,
These,
they fled.
and I indicate the items on the table.
She nods. Yes. These. Yes. Yeah, she does nod to those. These.
Very well.
The Queen speaks up. Is that all your questions answered?
Well, I was going to ask about what the people who stole these from you offered you, if anything, in return. Because I can't imagine that you'd have given them up just without there being the promise of something.
Serenanunde's face just sours. They lied to us. They said they were here on a quest of knowledge. They asked to see, to hear the stories, to see the relics for themselves. We did not know they were looking to
rob
search
you.
out what they planned to rob.
Oh, wow.
They offered many things. An armorer, someone to teach us how to make better arms, ones that can compare, to break us from our reliance on. She gestures to your armaments, buying from abroad.
Understand that.
He
Makes sense.
said he had the ear of the Syrian queen, that he could intercede to make a clearer treaty.
Ah.
He
Wow, they
was
really went for it.
convincing.
Ugh. Well, I can see why you'd not trust us coming here doing pretty much exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Even though we're not from Syria, we are people coming in and saying, oh, we want knowledge. Yep, fair play.
Not much difference, really.
Really not much at all.
The other Chancellor, Anatanako, just snorts.
The big important difference is we're not here to do anything like they did.
That's
That
what anyone
can't-
would say.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, and words are kind of meaningless.
Yeah.
Well, then let our actions speak for themselves. Then.
Queen Teopanoka says, "And so they shall. But first, are your questions answered?"
I think so.
I'm gonna message
would it-
Scamp. This feels like a bad time to ask if we can borrow the key, doesn't it?
Oh, I'm totally gonna do it though.
Go for it. Good luck.
When it comes to taking this journey south, would it be possible to borrow the key? I know that's a lot to ask.
Have you any other questions before I render my judgment?
Is there anything else we can do that would prove our good faith?
Is there anything we can do to help?
Very well. Your questions are answered.
Yeah, thank you.
I have observed you. Listened to your tale. It rings true. She stands up from her throne and, placing one hand to her breastbone, bows the upper half of her body slightly.
Do it back.
Yeah, I return it.
You have acted in good faith. Yeah, no, it just does it like much more. Just like he is
do
just
whatever Odin
wisely
Odin's
keeping
doing.
quiet. This is like his monarch right here. It's just like nope, no.
Yeah, I think we're all following him
Yeah.
in terms of what's polite.
Yeah. You have acted in good faith. And as such, I will grant you a boon. Is the borrowing of this key the boon you seek?
Again, look at Scamp.
Yeah, Corzin's gonna stay silent.
It feels important. So, yes, please.
She looks to her three counsellors. Anna Tanaka says, "We cannot know that they will return with it. The woods are dangerous. They might well die. It could be lost there again." Tilanatara, "I see them going south with it or without it. But south they go." The Queen looks to Serenanunde. She stiffly nods. The Queen speaks up. "So be it. We shall lend you the key. But you sought a means of proving your faith.
Yes.
If you are seeking the ruins of Fen, successful expeditions to that place have been few and far between. Bring back a piece of our history.
Okay.
Seems
You
reasonable.
can find some part of the Cloud Walker's legacy and return it to me.
And so far as we can, we will bring it back with the key.
Yes.
Yeah.
She turns to her seat, to her throne and makes the 2 fingers up gesture. Horonano just quietly starts ushering you. Okay, we are dismissed.
Okay.
We leave respectfully.
There is a cough from the throne, and you see Sarah Nanunde is holding up the jade key for you to take.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
You can see her, her hand, gripping on it, it's kind of painful to hold. But the moment you get it, unless you resist it, you just reflexively put it back on. You need to get south.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The oldest councillor speaks up. Thank you for doing the right thing. You're escorted back out of the palace and into the city of Tiope. And that, I think, is where we can pick up next time. Thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
It's hard to trust when once betrayed. Once burnt, twice shy leaves us afraid. Let's mend the tear caused by that thief and find a way beyond this grief.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.